Yes, Jeannie, this is for you because you said you wanted to see the official video of Sandman, so here it is. Why do we like these people?
Say your prayers and so on. Don't forget my son to include everyone. I tuck you in, all within, keep you free from sin till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light. Take my hand, off to never, never land. Something's wrong, something like heavy thoughts tonight, and they are so white. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons fire, and the things that will fight. Yeah. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light, enter night. Take my hand, off to never, never land. Yeah.
If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. Pray the Lord my soul to take.
Hush, little baby, don't say a word, and never mind that noise you heard. It's just the piece under your bed, in your closet, in your head. Exit light, enter night. Grain of sand, exit light, enter night. Take my hand, off to never, never land. Yeah, yeah. Yo!
Hello, everyone. How are you this evening? I hope you're enjoying the video.
You
Maybe we'll
looking
do-
hot, Joe.
Maybe we'll do the vampire ball tonight. Yes.
Huh? Hey,
Hey,
Joe, you
everybody, how
look
y'all doing?
good.
Hey,
You look
Sean,
hot.
Sean.
You look great tonight, man. Damn.
Sean looks great. Hey, man, look, I don't hear about you Sean's loving up on each other now. That's enough of that shit. We just that, we can only take so much of that.
Just remember, alphabetically, J comes before S.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. But I think
Hey,
H
speaking
becomes
of that
before
song
J.
we just watched, Joe, do you know the meaning behind it?
Which song?
It's Enter Sandman that we just watched.
We didn't watch any video. Are you smoking shit and not sharing
You
with the rest of the
smoking some
crowd?
good shit, man. When?
I can
mean,
see
literally-
the screen says it right there, Metallica. Enter Sandman.
Man, you are seeing things, man. I mean, really. I don't know all I see is four faces up here. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, we was hearing things. Do you know what
We
the
was
message
hearing
behind
things.
the song is, though? That's a big question.
Probably in the old days, but too much alcohol, too many drugs between then and now.
They were upset because like most of them are American. I don't know how your parents taught you when you went to bed. You say that prayer, and you mentioned dying. I hope I don't die tonight.
Oh, I recognize
before I
the
go
prayer,
to sleep.
yes.
And then as your mom was leaving you go in your bed tucked in, they would also remind you, don't look under the bed. The monsters will pull you under, and make sure there's no monsters in your closet. We'll come out and get you. And my mom, every once in a while, would check our closet and then open the door, close it, and it had one of those tricky latches where it sounded like it caught and it didn't. She would leave, and 5 minutes later, my brother and I are still there terrified. I hope there's no one in that closet. And then that's when the closet door would go.
People,
so they teach you all these scary things before you go to bed. It's horrible. Why do people do that to their children?
I've been packing since I was 3. So
right.
no.
Your closet door.
Boom! Whoa! Oh shit! I hope that went somebody I knew. Oh shit! And dogs are like, come on, let me get in on this, man. Oh, welcome, Sean. Welcome, Jay. I hope y'all all had a decent week this week. I got really. Yeah. You and I need to talk, but we'll catch up during the week. And so I'm prepping for the show, and this big Newsweek poll comes out. Joe Biden leads 2 polls, lowest approval rating in history. Oh, wait a minute now.
What fantasy novel is this?
But I'm like, okay, we're gonna find the polls later on in the show. But I'm just like, so I looked at it again, and it says Joe Biden leads 2 critical polls. Yes, and then in little bitty blue letters, lowest approval rating in history. I'm like, so wait, it doesn't matter what the bleep polls you leading in. If you got the lowest approval rate in history, you're not going to be the next president.
If people don't like you, they're not gonna scratch off your name on a ballot. They don't care.
Oh, Jimmy, I'm sorry. Welcome to News on the Flip Side. I forgot to announce the show. Yes, I apologize. Well, we just hanging out, just regular old people getting in trouble. Oh, our new co-host, no, she is on the road somewhere in the snowy, wondrous mountains of the world. And she may stop by and pop in and say hi.
She went skiing without us?
She's she's in the midst of moving. We're not going to say where because she wants to announce that she can. But we'll see her next week. But she's busy, people. See, well, I mean, come on, you got us 4 handsome guys over here. What you worried about her for?
Damn straight.
Hey, she's in the chat room. Hey, Leah.
Who is it, Joe? Did I miss it last week? Huh? Who is our co-host?
Oh, you haven't met Leah yet?
No.
Oh,
she's in the chat room, Sean. In the public chat room.
Yeah, she's she's a friend of the show, and she's as smart as us dummies for sure. Larry, no, we're gonna get in a bunch of polls later on. We got to talk about how Joe Biden is kicking Donald Trump's ass, and how all of a sudden the judge decided to side with Donald Trump and some stuff. But anyway, we're not going to get into that right now.
I saw that earlier.
So we're going to start out on a strange note tonight. So big, historic, deep, beyond the galaxy's ages, structures found in deep space. Okay. First off, when I read this, I'm like, somebody needs to teach this blinking fool how to type out a sentence.
And clickbait.
It was like reading somebody. It was like he was writing something and somebody slapped him, And then he wrote some more, and somebody slapped him again. I was like, what the bleep? So I said, well, maybe I'm missing something. So I've been hearing about different deep space structures for a while. And when they mean structures, they don't mean structures like a dead sun or a dead black hole or some kind of weird something that was created natural. No, they're talking about what's probably some type of alien structure. So first off, most importantly,
built structure.
Yeah. So most importantly, anything we can see from here has to be massive. I mean, larger than Jupiter. There is no way our telescopes that far out in space are picking up any kind of structures that are not just massive. Plus, now they found some just sitting out in space, not in the galaxies anywhere, just sitting out in space. It almost looks like some episode of one of these Star Wars or Star Trek, like Depot. They're just not there anymore, or they're not active anymore. Or if they are, we just can't see it. I have no idea, but I find it just weirdly interesting. What do you mean alien? So well, yes. What do you think it is? I mean, if it's a non-man-made structure, but it's not a natural structure, that means people. What does that mean? Aliens of some sort. How do you know? It might have been us from a billion years ago. We don't know, but I find all this stuff very fascinating. I find, Elon Musk, he blew up his third Starship now.
Oops.
Yes. Well, no, he got almost 80 or 85% of what he wanted to get accomplished. This guy, first off, he is building Starships in like a month and a half. And he's going to, his goal is actually put like 100, 150 of these in space constantly.
Well, yeah, 50 going back, 50 going one way, 50 going the other, and 50 in reserve.
And 50 in reserve. And they'll probably up that to like 60 and 60. But what I find interesting about it is these other weird. So the first set of structures I had heard about, there was a guy talking about, the guy before the guy talking about the Dyson sphere they thought they found out in Kimmler. Because that came a little later. So first it was supposed to be like this, what it probably was, how did the scientists describe it? A dead Borg cube. That's how his words exactly. So you hear about this thing for all of about 9 months and it fades away. 2-3 years go by, boom, we're hearing about what might be a Dyson sphere out in deep space. Okay. So first off, it's pretty big. It's going around the sun. They don't know what it is. At first they thought maybe it was asteroids or meteorite, a field, like we have. But it wasn't, because it was stationary. It wasn't moving. So the sun was flaring up and everything else around it was moving, but it was sitting there. And as it was sitting there, it was growing. So it took over a few shots, it seemed like this thing, it seemed like some type of structure being built. And I mean, if you're building something around a sun like that, I mean, that's probably what it's going to be, some type of Dyson sphere.
And they're probably on that evolutionary scale of like 2 or 3, where they're actually harnessing the sun. They're at a galactic power level.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, anybody
we're in contact with AOC.
No, I would think honestly, I would think this would be like one of them sci-fi movies. If an alien actually met AOC, she would either get probed or evaporated. I'm really thinking it would just like Kamala Harris. What is that? Psst. Oh, well, I thought that was a squirt gun. I'm sorry. And just
a civilization that can build a Dyson sphere, or completely encase
that'd be way up
star. If they came across us, what would they do? They might be like, oh, psh, and just like flick us off the face of this planet, and we wouldn't even be able to stop it.
It's in that. Well, that's a thing, and I don't think. Well, whoever's out there obviously doesn't want to kill us because we're still here.
The ones that are at us now, but we don't know that the ones that are visiting us can contain a sun within a construct.
I would think
if we're seeing stuff out in the galaxy where these alien species are building things and harnessing the entire sun or the entire solar system as an energy source, they probably have evolved past the point where cute animals like cats and dogs to them are more of a nuisance, more like an insect, and they would think the same about us, and they would have no problem just coming by and going, whoo, and just send a beam our way, destroy all the biology on the planet, and then take it over for its resources. They wouldn't have they'd be so far advanced beyond us that they probably they don't even have emotion at that point. And we know the ones that we're dealing with do have some.
Yeah, they would probably. No, I don't think you'll lose your emotions because compassion is just something that separates us from the chimpanzees, and
I
not
don't
by
know.
much, not by much, but it does. It does separate us from the animals, the lions, the tigers, the sharks. So it'll always be there. It's just in what capacity will it be there, and how will it serve us in the future, especially when you start talking about mankind being freed up, like out of Star Trek. We don't have to work anymore. We have stuff that can replicate. We have AI. Pretty soon we'll have teleportation and we'll have food replication. So none of this stuff will become a problem for us anymore. So what do we do? This society wouldn't know what to do with itself. Half of it would commit suicide.
I
It
would
just wouldn't know what to
enjoy
do with itself.
if I didn't have to work and I could go anywhere in the with our technology within our realm, solar systems wide, or just even just the planet wide, I would walk every square inch of the planet that I could possibly walk upon.
Yeah, you probably would. And
Now, why
hopefully
would you want to do that, Jay?
because
Well, there's a lot of fantastic places out there. Tiwanaku, Ollantaytambo. There's a lot of places I would go. I go to every one of the pyramid sites, no question. I try to get myself down to Antarctica if the government. There's places where you can get permission to go there, but you can only go in a few places that they let you. I'd want to walk all over. I don't want to die down there, but you can go with proper gear and just check some stuff out. But I mean, there's a lot on this planet we haven't even seen. We know more about the surface of the stupid moon, which is an unnatural product, than we do about our own oceans.
well, what are you hating on the moon for? We all know from
I
Doctor.
mean, it's true. We find new species almost every day, both on and below the ocean, and there are also, at the same token, at about the same rate, there are species going extinct as we're finding new species. So we just haven't seen it all, and we're still on this one planet. Now everybody wants to get off, which I don't mind. I would like to get off too, but I'd want to check this place out first. Get that, go everywhere I can possibly go, and then Moon, Mars, and then go out.
By
the way,
okay. Yeah.
By the way, after dropping that turd of a report, air by arrow, the government, the nothing to see here, Senator Reid was from New Mexico report, that one. There's a thing that literally just came out that there have been drone overflights of Langley Air Force Base. Way back in December, they have not been able to stop it. They have, they're not saying what it is. It's really good because either we should fire everybody above the rank of brigadier general for not securing our national security, or we should just admit that they're non-human. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, no, it might be human because this has happened in 11 other airports in the United States. And at LAX, they've got them they've got a good footage of them. They're definitely drones, and they're just buzzing along out there, freaking over and under. Do you know what happens when these things get sucked up? You just lost a jet, probably full of fuel. God knows what it's going to take out with it. And they haven't been able to catch them. They don't know who they are. They don't know who is doing it. It's probably one of these people that Joe Biden's let come across the border, bought some serious, because I don't know if people realize this, guys and girls. Y'all think of drones. Most Americans, when they think of drones, they think of that stupid shit you buy your kids at Christmas to go fly around. They're cool. Go 1,000 feet, 800 feet, fly maybe a mile. No. They have drones that you can go buy for about $6,000, $7,000. These are construction drones or contractor drones that can go up easy 150, 200, 500,000, 1,500, 1,800 feet and fly for miles. You won't even know that once they're high enough up, you won't even know if they're up there. As long as it's a decent day,
because you can't hear it.
Yeah, you can see it. They can see everything they want. I mean, these are very advanced and they're very maneuverable, so they can zip out. I mean, unless you can track it back to its source, and the only way you can do that is not to recognize it and take the risk that an airplane don't hit it or something else don't hit it. They've been two near misses at LAX, and there was a miss at the Denver airport. It wasn't even actually a miss; it bounced off the hull of the jet. So
still though, that's danger close, man.
That's craziness, man. Wow.
Drones are changing the world.
You would think that like spending nearly $1 trillion in annual defense funding, they'd be able to shoot down something over Langley Air Force Base.
You would think so.
I mean that's unacceptable. Like like multiple senior people need to be fired. Like
we couldn't even shoot down a balloon that took 2 weeks across our country, and we had to send a Raptor up there to get right up against him. We didn't even send a Raptor; we sent a missile. I don't even know what to think about shit like that. I really don't. I mean, if we're that dumb, I mean, and think about this, ladies and gentlemen, we are the king of drones. We invented the damn things. And not only invented them, we have mastered warfare with drones. Everybody else is playing catch up. They talk about us playing catch up with hypersonic missiles. That may be true, but everybody else is playing catch up, and we can shoot drones down by the shitloads. If you just watch what's going on in the Red Sea right now, we're shooting down 100, 150 a day, but we can't shoot none over one of our most secure bases in the country. What the? See, that makes you wonder what it really is.
Exactly. I don't think it's a pure competitor.
You got planes coming and going.
Like if it is a pure competitor, we're done. It's over. It's over.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why it's so terrifying, right? Like I'd rather it be some non-human intelligence. Like this is outrageous. Like either tell people the truth or, like fire people. It's one or the other.
Yeah, because
Could it possibly be us, Sean?
There's no way. There's no way. Like those things are flying over for days and we're not able to get a handle on it. Come on.
And Leah has a good question, and the answer is yes. There's one of those new flying cars that looks almost exactly like a drone, and it's probably smaller in size. There's basically an open frame like gyrocopter with 4 propellers. It's less than the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. So think about that. You got a dude flying something like that now too. They get danger close to one of those airplanes and they bounce off the hull. They will cause a crash because it's a much larger vehicle. And it's not regulated like a big plane.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a civilian airport here. We're talking about Langley Air Force Base. Like there should be a missile in the sky with that thing's name on it. No questions
it really
asked.
should be. Well, there shouldn't even be a missile. See, that's they So
right.
they use a couple of things for drones right now. We use EMP. So a lot of times it'll do scatter. We also use a lot of scatter target things. So we don't really need a drones, and we can shoot them down. We've proved that over the Red Sea. That's what I was just saying. I mean, we have been shooting drones down. I lost count of how many drones we've shot down in the last couple of months.
Yeah, but they're using phalanx, aren't they?
They're using all kind of shit. No, they're using all sorts of stuff out there, and they're using EMP as well. Matter of fact, they were showing lasers shooting down a seriously big drone the other day. You seen this little thing, and it's all scratchy eyed, man, made your eye hurt, and all of a sudden you see this little beam coming out. And this thing, there's nothing it could do to get away from it. It just finally just went poof and fell into the sea. But still, that kind of shit takes a long time. They need a little better laser like Star Trek. Oh, where'd it go? That's the kind of lasers I want to see. I want to see something of some consequence. I mean, we're on the edge of all these technologies we've been watching in the movies for the last 20 years, but we're not there yet. We do have a lot of different technologies. The phalanxes are badass, but when something gets to a certain size, say like this or like this, the phalanxes have a hard time.
Tomahawks, I don't think they can get.
So things like that, it's a lot harder. Well, Tomahawks they can get because Tomahawk's on a straight path and it's cruising.
Yeah,
so
but
they
it's
can
also,
lock in on that.
like,
but drones are doing this, and
20
this,
in
and this,
diameter,
and this,
they're
and they're just, drones can flip and do 360s. I mean, drones really were seriously, when you think of a drone, think of the Foo Fighters in World War II. That's the only thing in today's society that could actually explain the Foo Fighters in World War II, except for the speeds. That is the only thing they would do is flip the loops around the ships, turn around, do 360, stop, hover, take off, stop, hover, take off, fly up, go down. And our drones today can do that. Not at those speeds, but our drones today can do that. So that's a replica of that technology from the Foo Fighter era. So we already know the Foo Fighters with no humans on the planet possess Foo Fighters. We're trying to get to that technology, but we're not there by any shape, form, fashion, or means at this point. But knowing that it makes you wonder, is this something Langley's just playing with and watching to see maybe they can catch who's doing it? Or are they not worried because nothing that's important is unsecured or can be seen? Or is there, how close are they to a civilian area? Because I know out here at Eglin, they couldn't use some things because they're too close to neighborhoods. It would be too risky. And that's also a great place to launch a drone from, is out of somebody's neighborhood, backyard or something. And why ain't they out there with, little helicopters or something looking for this shit?
Well, this happened in December. So they were, and it might still be happening for all we know. This is just, I think this article just hit.
It's right in the middle of a very, very populous area. There's the Hampton,
100%.
Virginia, Newport News, Virginia. Virginia Beach is right across the bay. Norfolk is right across the bay. It's very large.
The war zone says, I quote, "We know that they were so troubling and persistent that they prompted bringing in advanced assets from around the U.S. government, including one of NASA's WB-57 Foxtrot high-flying research planes.
Russians don't have those kind of drones. Iran, you know what's really sad is the Iranians probably have the next best technologies in drones. No, China doesn't. China builds crappy drones.
Zelensky and his team in Ukraine have been buying their drones from Iran.
Here's the tell that it's non-human. So there's another quote. This is from an Air Force, a spokesperson for Langley Air Force Base, in a statement earlier today. None of the incursions appeared to exhibit hostile intent, but anything flying in our restricted airspace can pose a threat to flight safety. The FAA was made aware of the UAS incursions. So the UAS is unidentified aerial systems. Yeah, it's not human. I mean, like, what? How would you know? Like, if it were Russian or Chinese, I mean, I don't care if they're flying around. It's hostile intent because they're trying to collect intelligence on you. So it's just like either provide some heads to the American people for incompetence for not like tracking this thing, or it just come out with the truth. Right? Instead of like just snowballing everybody with this nonsense report and just kind of BS that Sean Kirkpatrick threw out. Like, this is completely unacceptable. Somebody needs to be fired. Multiple people need to be fired.
No,
like,
multiple
somebody
people
needs to
need
accept
to be fired.
responsibility. Yeah,
I mean,
they need to accept responsibility.
My opinion about even just this incident. Just think about all the other stuff that they've hidden from the UFO community on for 47 and beyond. They found some stuff during the Civil War. It's all criminal, and it's all criminal activity. Not only should those who are in power now be taken out of it, but we should do as the Constitution allows us to disassemble our government and rebuild it when it doesn't work. And right now,
yeah, look, they're never gonna. They're never gonna.
It's doing terrible things.
They're never gonna unveil this. These people just need to be removed. They just like in terms of like fired and let go. I mean, this is unacceptable.
What I don't even understand is, I know Langley's got EMP weapons, and those are really, you don't really have to worry about them doing any damages, especially.
There are 2 naval bases plus that Air Force base, and there's probably a couple of Marine naval air stations around the area too. I can guarantee you that's one it's like 3 little places that come together on a river. There's a lot of military right there, and they can't.
Like we spend $800 billion on defense a year, and you're gonna and these people have no way with all these assets of stopping this thing, and their excuse is, oh, they don't exhibit any hostile intent. Just tell us the truth. Like this, it's just like, oh, how do you know? You can't even tell us the truth.
No,
okay,
Sean, they don't want to.
Sean, answer me this.
Right.
If I were to drive my Cessna airplane and I lost control of my instruments and my radio went out and I flew over this same airport and I didn't respond by radio because my radio's out, and let's say for whatever reason something fogged the canopy, so they can't see me through the sides of my windows, what do you think they would do to me?
They'd shoot your ass down.
Every time they ask for identification, I'd be shot out of the air.
Yeah.
Why won't they shoot these things down? And why can't they? I mean,
because they can't.
That goes right back to why hasn't somebody just rolled out an EMP cannon and just shot it up in the air and see what comes down? Because if you can't really shield a drone that small from EMP, so if it doesn't come falling out the sky, because EMP and they can move all over the place and they're moving at the fastest speed of light. So if they should right there, they should know. Okay, we can't get this to come down with an EMP. Is this some new secret weapon? No, you can kind of look at it with a pair of binoculars or something and know it's not a Russian or Chinese probe. It's something else that doesn't fit into the guidelines of what we consider. But they're not going to tell us that because it's so. To put this in perspective, doing all of these hearings and bullshit and blah blah and all this testimony, they brought out Dr. Greer and whatever his name is. And all this was really about was one, to feed Dr. Greer's ego. Yeah, David Crush. This was about feeding Dr. Greer's ego and trying to get him some more money out of these poor ufologists that believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
The problem with this is, the problem with this is he hasn't really contributed anything really to the field. He hasn't really helped the field grow any. He's helping his pocketbooks grow. Like, $4,000, you can come out and have a spiritual movement with ET. Okay. That's a big red flag going up right there. And there's a lot of other things like that. Everywhere he goes, everything he does, he charges for. And so he went from He went from a
Didn't at one
great
point he tried to get
career
him
as
on
a
the show when he
doctor.
wanted to ask an outrageous fee, didn't
Oh
he?
yeah, he wanted. I think he wanted like somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 to come on and do the shows. And I was like, well, we don't pay anybody, dude. You can just go on past that with your little cell phone down the road.
Is that what he asked for?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and I said, so I said, just please don't let the
Yes,
door hit you
he
in the
is.
proverbial ass. But it's worse than that because the crush guy is a liar. So the first thing I had asked when I talked about all of this, and the first thing I had sent in anyway, the first thing I had sent in was, why wasn't he polygraphed? So if you're going to give sworn testimony to Congress about extraterrestrials, excuse me,
Or you're a tobacco lobbyist.
anybody actually giving testimony freaking Congress should be on a polygraph machine. Let's just be honest about it. Because half the time that thing's going to be going beep, 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 beep. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, there's some lying motherfuckers up there. But here, this is more important. You've got a so-called spy. Sorry about the quotation marks, but spy.
Well, let's just call him an intelligence agent. I don't even think he.
And so
qualifies
he says these aliens are stupid and fly through this portal and fall out on the ground and crash and fall out of their spaceships, and they get the ship and the aliens. That's his words, by the way, though. You don't take me where you go. Listen, guys, not all of them. About every one out of every 3 or 4. So let's just be realistic for a minute. If we lost a ship out of every 4, we did something, but we would quit whatever we were doing. I mean, when you're talking, because you got to remember, this isn't something that started yesterday. We're talking tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to even millions of years. And all that time, these stupid aliens have not figured out how not to lose a spaceship going through like a Stargate or something. I mean, that's thinking like a human is what that's thinking like.
Yeah,
that
and
is sheer ignorance.
Also, Bob Lazar, he has some testimony that says the machine he saw was not only pristine in condition, all the other 9 were as well, and that they were gifted to the U.S. government. They weren't caught. The 9 that he saw in the paperwork that he was given at Area S4, 1988 or what have you, he says they were gifted to the U.S. government. 9 craft.
They were gifted, all right. They took them to freaking Nazis.
Or they took them from the Nazis, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken about that, even those ships were gifted to us, but did we not have to give them people and take those people back to their planet?
They were allowed to abduct up to 1 million people a year, and then very soon after that, they started doing the abductions. They realized that not only were they abducting more than 1 million, they weren't telling the government who they were abducting, which is also
that's a problem with abductions.
Each person's name, who they were grabbing, and for how long and whatnot.
Well, they've been abducting for as long as man's been on the planet. So that's the real kicker when it comes to they only abduct in family lines. They don't go outside of family lines. There's no need to.
Right, and we can't even give them permission to do it. They can do it without.
No, they what's his name?
There's nothing we can do to stop it, basically.
Eisenhower tried to. I think in the 50s he actually tried to.
We got a treaty in 1954.
They tried to. Well, actually, what they tried to do was say, okay, you're going to take our people no matter what. Can we at least get some technology out of it? Why can we at least have something since you are taking our citizens? But from what was told about him and what's been told from most people involved in this, they're not here eating or killing or taking our people away. They're staying here and living out their lives, whether they're being probed or not. They're still being left on this planet until they die, I guess. But it's very strange. There's just too much stuff on the planet that suggests that something's been going on for a really, 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 really long time. And some people think that some of the stuff that happened at AD, where BC and AD meets around the time of Christ, some people think a lot of that was something that was trying to change the outflow of the direction of the world, which it could have made it worse. I'm not sure. I haven't made up my mind yet. Religion is a hard thing to talk about.
Why isn't our government telling us any of this stuff? Why are they just saying there's nothing to see?
Because
it's all fake?
No, you don't want to know why they're telling you that? Because you are stupid. Now, okay, so the 4 of us in here are not actually stupid, but when you get in front of Chuck Schumer, man, you're stupid. You don't need to know this because you're going to panic and freak out. Now, let's be honest for a few minutes. 400 million Americans. alien craft lands in a White House yard, most of us are going to be like, oh, shit, I'm in my car, buddy. Woo, headed
I
for
will pull over to
DC.
go to a television store just to
Yeah.
watch that. Absolutely.
Not only am I on my way in my car to DC, I'm calling everybody I know that lives in places like Pennsylvania, Boston, and anywhere up there. Man, look, I need y'all out in the field. Get your
Where you
asses
at
out
now?
there.
I don't care. Go home. Get on the TV. You got to
But
see this.
the majority of Americans will be loading their guns and praying to their God and just flipping out. So that's about 60% of Americans, because we're a little bit ahead of most of the world. Europe's are going to be about the same. The rest of the planet, about 88% is going to flip the Jesus out. They're just, the Muslims are going to flip out. The Christians are going to flip out. All the people in between are going to flip out, because most of what they were taught and most of what they believe as God and life and how it should be is now not true.
Mm-hmm.
They had bought a lie for most of their entire life. Now, before anybody gets mad at me, I'm not saying everything is a lie, but when you look at extraterrestrials and you look, priests tell me all the time, yeah, extraterrestrials don't exist. God didn't create no extraterrestrials. You're crazy, Joe. I said, okay, whatever. I said, when the bitch lands in DC, I don't want to have to come tell you I told you so, but I'm going to tell you I told you so. And I said, and then he got real mad at me because I love using this. And I looked up at him and I said, it's the sin to limit the creator. And it's just how I did. I had my finger on his face. I said, it's a sin to limit the creator. He said, what do you mean? I said, you just put limits on the creator of everything. You just said he, she, or it can't have other aliens because you said, because of some guy who wrote something 1,000 years ago said. I said, man, I don't know about all this said shit, but I'm thinking, I said, I'm thinking you should not limit the creator is what I'm just being honest. I said, that sounds like a big ass sin to me. That should be like one of the 11 sin or something. And he was like, I never really thought about as limited the creator. He said, I'm going to have to really, he's actually a regular follower of ours now too, by the way. He said, because he never thought of it like that. And when you present it, I've converted several, actually, even a couple Muslims along the ways. It's just, when you stop about thinking that you're me, who's a nobody, is going to put limits on whoever it is or what was that created all of this. Oh, well, I know better than it did because I'm putting limits on. Doesn't seem like a safe thing to do. That's like telling, one of those crazy mafia guys or, yeah, Mr. Gambino. I mean, you can't do that, Mr. Gambino. You can't shoot me as a gun comes out and blows your brains out. Oh, yeah, no, it just doesn't work that way.
Hey, Joe, Leah has a question. Why do a lot of Christian fanatics believe aliens are demonic beings?
Lack of education.
Yes, because it's just an easy thing. But you know what? I got one good on this. He's a very famous exorcist that's all over the place. So him and I are online talking one night, and he's going on and on. He said, oh no, the aliens are just demons and shit, flying around in a spaceship, going to space. I said, well, wait a minute now. I said, let me think about my religion. I said, I used to be a religious person when I was young. I was Catholic and made my confirmation and my communion. I even used to teach Wednesday school. I said, I was pretty knowledgeable about it. I said, my wife was a Pentecostal. I said, it's not like we're ignorant to the subject. I said, aren't demons earthbound? He said, well, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? What do I mean? You're the priest. What do you mean? What I mean? I said, demons are earthbound. They can't leave Earth. They're stuck here. That's why when the planet collapses and goes away, they all get sucked away with it because they can't leave. And he's like, no. I said, you better go check your religion. And he was like, and so he pops into one of the chat rooms one night. He goes, son of a bitch, you were right. They are earthbound. He said, I called all kind of pastors and leaders and cardinals and said, hey, look, this guy this is what he said. He said, this layman tells me this, and I'm kind of stunned. And he's asking, he said, oh no, they're earthbound. He said, how should you think they get eaten away when we die? And it's like, son of a bitch, I've been looking at this completely wrong.
Why can't they be both? Why can't you have some subset that's using it as a deception?
They could be both.
Are from another place. Others could be from another, parallel.
Because
universe.
I don't think like the Greys. I don't think the Greys going to allow any of that bullshit. I just don't. The Greys seem to be very, let's say, possessive of planet Earth. That might be the best way to say it. I don't even feel, because it's like paranormal stuff. People always tell me, well, it could be ETs. I said, well, it could be. I said, poltergeist and the ET ship nearby have the same effect. I mean, things flying around rooms, floating around, toys coming on, running down the hallways. It's the same thing. But is it the same thing? That's a good argument, but it could be either one. And we do know in some contact cases, it does seem to trigger what we would consider a poltergeist event.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's so you can't say that one's not triggering the other. It might be the sheer energy it takes for a craft to enter the area. It may kick off paranormal events just for the sheer whatever the fields it's using, or vice versa for that matter. I mean, it's hard to say.
Or it could be a young adolescent who has some, PK potential, right?
It could be.
Could be like Lynn Buchanan, right?
If you ever talk to one of our redheaded hosting stations, she'll tell you about going through with children through certain ages, gifted children with certain ages. We're talking about there are kids that are psychic, and or psychic's not even a good word. We'll just say use gifted, and they can cause all kind of paranormal trouble. It's not really intentional most of the times. It's just a thing.
They don't know what to do, how to control anything.
But anyway,
they might not even know they're doing it. It's just all the
and that's the thing. They might not know. A lot of times they won't know they're doing it. Well, no, Jack, we're doing all. We talk. What does it say? News and the what? News and the what? News and the flip side, which means we can talk about anything we want to talk about. Well, we got 3 hours. Trust me, we're not through with Uncle Cracker yet. No. He's not getting off the hook.
We won't be through with him till after November.
Well, of course. Oh man, I got to tell you, there's 2 polls that said your boy's going to win. I know you love him, and he's going to be the guy. Yes, he is. It's like 100 polls out there, but them 2 polls said that's it.
Yeah, they're solid clad too.
But yet somehow he's got the lowest approval rating in history. I'm not sure how those go hand in hand. But this is America after all, and I don't know when we're going to get through this being divided crap. Being a centralist makes it hard on me sometimes because I got friends on both sides, and as long as my friends aren't talking politics, there's not a problem.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, they start talking politics, I want to leave, man. I'm like, watch this. Oh, that's right. I can just X out of here, can't I? Click, and I'm out. But it's because people in the old days, it's okay. Here's a perfect example. So Chuck Schumer and some of the Democrats now want Netanyahu to step down, or they want an immediate election to have him voted out. Well, he wouldn't lose right now in an election, by the way. No. His country is pissed. He would win in an overwhelming landslide. So I'm not even sure what Schumer's up to other than being his ignorant self that he usually is.
To be fair, we fund the crap out of their military, right? So we do have a say. I think it's totally fair. Now, I don't agree with Schumer's say, but we have an effing say.
No, we always have an effing say on Israel. Right. Yeah. That's why we got.
I don't think we can outright demand them to change their government in the middle of a conflict.
We could surely put pressure on them to do so by simply saying, "Well, guess what? You're on your own, FSOB. We'll see you later." Houthis, hey, Israel's on its own. Y'all have a good time. And Israel is Israel's a big ass bully, and Israel can take care of a lot of things. But you know what? If all of a sudden the whole Middle East knew the U.S. was not going to get involved, I don't know if Israel would survive. The Saudis are friends with them right now, and Egypt's friends with them right now. But if they knew the U.S. was not going to get involved, I don't know if it would stay that way. I wouldn't. I would think maybe it might go a different way.
But to be clear, I think Schumer's annoying. I'm just saying that
Schumer's
as annoying as he is, he has a right to, not him, but the United States.
But we don't have a right to call for them to have a vote. That's the people of Israel do that.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be like you saying, you know what, America needs to have a vote and vote that crackerhead out because he don't even know his name anymore. That's
but they don't give us any money.
Oh,
so
they do give us money, and they also buy some of our debt. By the way, I bet you didn't know that.
They buy some of our airplanes and other stuff.
Yeah,
but they buy a lot of it.
But that doesn't give us the right to force them to have an election. We can, our government could voice their opinion that they don't like Netanyahu anymore.
Well, but you know what's so funny about this?
Get him out. That's political bullying.
So
right there.
This is what's so funny about this. If this was Obama or Trump, they would probably have an election. Yeah. Joe Cracker Biden, they're going to just ignore it. And Schumer, they're going to ignore even more. They don't give a shit about Schumer. He thinks Schumer's one of these guys in the Senate who thinks he has a lot of power, and he actually doesn't. Yeah. I mean, he has power against the everyday person, but power against the rest of the world, no, he doesn't really. Well, what's the other one? Not Schumer. The other crazy Oh, not Pelosi. We're not even talking about Pelosi.
Johnson?
He's been weirdly quiet lately, by the way.
Who is the guy that just announced he
I-
was going to aggressively try to remain Speaker of the House for GOP 2024? Johnson?
Oh, I don't know.
Jackson?
Yeah,
Whoever the current Speaker of the House
Mike
is,
Johnson
gonna-
is the
he's going to
speaker.
aggressively try to maintain that seat, whatever that means.
He's an ugly, wormy, ball-headed old bastard. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, he's not-
He looks like Walter the Puppet came to life.
Yes,
Wait, which
yes.
guy are you talking about? Like Mike Johnson's not
Doesn't he?
bald.
No,
Mike
we're talking about
Johnson's-
Schumer. We're talking about Schumer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Schumer
really?
looks like Walter's the Jeff Denham puppet came to life.
It's
Well, you
have to
who
watch
is
it.
it? Oh, McConnell. No, wait. There's one of them that's in the GOP. It's McConnell. Then there's Schumer. And then there's the other guy. There's the two.
That's the guy I'm talking about, Jackson or Johnson or something like that.
Yeah.
Says he's going to try to aggressively maintain his position for 2024. What aggressively means, I don't know. Is he going to go and shoot the other candidates? I don't know.
Jesse James. What a good. Where are you at? Oh, you're on my. Well, I was just seeing what messenger you're on. So what you got for us, Jesse James, with your little crazy name? I don't care what your name. You could be Fruit Loop as far as I'm concerned. But really, what do you got for us? Joe Biden is the best president we've ever had.
Are you serious? He's saying that
That's a
shit?
troll. He's trolling.
Wait. So he's
trolling.
he's never touched the little girls. Okay.
You know what?
So-
Get that bastard off.
So listen. So I'm not going to address that. So if you start talking
This
about
is
like that
trolling.
again, you're on my messenger, so you got to be on one of my friends list. I will just drop you off, and when I do, I'll just delete you. But I said, you have the right to say what you want. I'm not going to give you trouble. I said, but if you got to be honest, okay? You can talk about anything you want in these rooms, but or sending me single messages. I said, but you have to be honest. I said, you know what, dude? You can go on YouTube right now and look all you want. There are literally just tons of video of him touching girls.
Hundreds of videos.
So let's just leave that alone.
He grabs the little girl's hair and
Let's leave that alone.
sniffs it.
Well, I'm
Oh.
not. No, Johnny, I'm not saying, and Jesse, I'm not saying he's a pedophile. I'm just saying he touches little 10 and 11, 12-year-old girls' hair.
He's creepy.
It's
He's
just weird.
extremely
See this ponytail? He does things like. So let me say this. So he'd touch my hair like that. I would drop his ass right where he stood.
I'd break his nose.
I
I'd
mean,
punch
it
him
would
dead in the face.
Anyway, enough. Since we're on it, we might as well segue to this one. So, some local senators down here in Louisiana got all riled up the other day because somebody bought one of them Chinese sex dolls, the ones that look like the 10, 11, 12-year-old kids. They flipped out. They are talking to every governor in the South. They want these things banned from the South. They said, if Cracker Joe and the Yankees want to play with sex dolls, that's fine, but they're being banned from the South. No kitty sex dolls allowed in the South. They're going to make it where you can get up to 10 years for even having one.
Wow.
Now, according to the Chinese and even some of the European countries, this is therapy to keep pedophiles from doing bad things.
Yes.
What
And
I can't see that. I can't. It would. to me,
I think it's
it would
feeding.
give a-
I think it's feeding the fantasy, but that's just me.
yes.
I'm not a psychologist,
Nope.
so I'm just saying. I feel like in some ways, it's look. I've seen these.
Things,
no. So
it feeds the fantasy, and
so
also if
when
they
this-
stay with the doll and they feed the fantasy and they release the fantasy on the inanimate object, no harm, no foul. But if
that's how
they
they're doing.
escalate and get rid of the fake doll and go after real children, then
Well, so
They can
let's
become-
say. So by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this subject Stephanie Benetti and I tackled when this first came out, when the show first debuted. I think it's 8 years ago. Rest in peace, Steph. But we actually took on this hard. They had copies of the dolls and all. We actually had one of the manufacturers came on with us, and they had a psychologist that actually talked about it. It was crazy. It was a very intense show. It's a very heated show, to be honest with you. So the first time I seen these, I was like, this thing's about yay tall, long brown hair down its ass. It looks, when it's just standing there, creepy because it looks just like a live person. So then this guy's telling me, he said, everything is anatomically correct. I'm like, really, dude? I said, it's something I didn't know. He said, but this is what this is for. This is to help sick people. I said, so what do you mean help sick people? Help sick people get off or get well? I'm saying, what are we talking about here? And I thought Stephanie was going to climb through the freaking computer and choke this bastard. If it would have been possible, she would have choked this son of a bitch out. I'm not even kidding you. I'd never seen her where she couldn't talk before because she could out talk me, and she was just pissed. I will. Don't you ever come in this country? You better never come to my country. You know I live in New York, right? I was like, don't be threatening people.
Yeah, I mean, this is an important stat to mention actually. So I have a friend who's like a prison expert, and he said people who go to prison, most of them do so for committing crime because they have been using drugs and things like that. If you stop them from using drugs, their recidivism rate goes way down. The only group that doesn't use drugs and still has an extremely high recidivism rate are pedophiles. They just can't. They can't help themselves.
Because like the Europeans treat it as a disease. They don't, because they're not an addiction. So
it's a mental disorder. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they started doing is, besides that, they can't just be filling up. They're saying it's way worse than most people realize, and it's just not enough. They don't want to put them in prison, and they don't want to put them in it. So they give them this shot that basically takes any desire for sex away. Actually, it's a pill. They have to be checked every so often, and they go to therapy weekly. So the Europeans have taken the approach is we may not be able to cure them, but we can at least get them, make them where they're part of society again. And so far, their reincarnation rate is less than 20%, where in the United States, it's over 80%. So that tells you all you need to know right there. So we talked about this the other day. They have 2,000 years of history. It's not like they just started dealing with this shit. I mean, this has been going on through castles and the 9 yards.
There's been pockets of depravity throughout history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got a little slight advantage. So sometimes I think as Americans, and since they are our kinfolk, we should kind of pay attention sometimes and maybe actually learn something occasionally and stop thinking we know everything, which we know most everything. Maybe we don't know completely everything. Jesse, no, dude, it was a rough show we did. 3 of the hardest shows Stephanie's I did, and 3 of the most popular shows we ever did was that one on abortion, and one on guns. And because I was showing the stats real fast, because we're not supposed to be going here tonight. So guns don't kill people; people kill people. And what I mean by that is, I can get in my car like the guy did and drove through the pack, just killing people left and right. I mean, a car can kill people quite easily, but that's not even what I'm talking about. So. Usually the death rate by cars is usually double the gun rate, but it's worse than that because the maim and cripple rate amongst cars is something like 40 times higher than guns are. So if a gun shoots you, most of the time it's either going to kill you or it's going to pass through and there's not going to be that much damage. Occasionally it can cripple you and do stuff like that. But it comes to cars cripple much more often than guns do. So question, why are we not banning cars? Plus, wait, it's worse than that. Cars are doing what else? Killing the effing planet. So these hypocrite blue people up there telling me about guns, and every time they bring up the argument, I said, well, let's talk about automobiles. And then at the end of the argument, they're speechless because everything I said is true. And it's not just killing us, killing our friends, it's killing the planet. But we don't even consider talking about that, do we? Oh, no, we don't want to talk about giving up our cars. Oh, we might give up our gun, but we ain't giving up our car. Somebody said,
"Yeah, Red Barchetta by Rush."
Well, it's like when they told me, "Well, you have
gasoline cars are banned, and he's driving a gasoline car and he gets caught."
Thank God, America's becoming a little unwoke now, and if Crazy Orange Guy gets in, they'll get more unwoke.
But it's going to swing. It's going to swing hard in the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's going to be better be hanging on people, but you'll also swing the economy. You'll be better off, and see, Donald will make it better for us. Because people forget he just likes the everyday person. He's like the king. He's not like a president. He wants you to love him for helping you, for giving you what you want. Biden can give a shit. Biden just wants to get reelected. Almost all politicians are only thinking about one thing: getting reelected. That's why we need term limitations, because that shit would stop. Once you knew you can't go, you might actually do something for the country and become popular instead. But no, that's too complicated. Mm-hmm. Because a good senator, he saves his 12 years. He can go be a House rep for 12 years. So that's 24 years he served. Then he can go be a governor or a mayor or something. He had served 40 years. And then after that, he can say, look at my accomplishments. Let me run for president. At least a son of a bitch would have the credentials to run. And we wouldn't have the crap we get today. I mean, Joe Biden was the worst choice the Democrats could have ever made. All Joe Biden was for was to win. It wasn't to help us. It wasn't to do anything. Maybe help
I
some
wouldn't
rich
say
people.
he's the worst. I think there's a line stretching around the
I agree.
Empire
There
State
is.
Building that I mean, you got Gavin Newsom, you got Kamala Harris. I mean, you literally take any other alternative. Look, I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying that they
no. But I mean, there was a lot of good people they could have chose from too. And so Kamala is not going to step down from VP, she said. And if Joe Biden is a step down, she will keep up the mantle. So Democrats and the rest of the country, the best you can hope for is 4 more years of Joe Biden, because I'd much prefer Crazy Joe than Crazy Kamala.
Well, he's by the time the election happens, he'll have 15 million extra votes from everybody who streamed across the border.
Yeah.
Might be fine.
Yeah. Oh, well, wait. Fine. So this y'all gonna love this. So they went down to the border about 8 or 9 days ago, and they were surveying. They surveyed 1,400 people on the not Amarillo, whatever the name of the place is, border, and 2,000 on the other ones. Trump was up 60-40.
Wow.
That's it?
It should have been the other way around. No, it should have been the other way around. It should have been 60-40 the other way. It should have been Biden 60 and Trump 40. I was surprised.
You mean on the Mexican side?
Yeah, so this was illegals. These were people coming into the country or were already into.
Are you sure it was illegals or Mexicans? Because Mexicans don't like them either, because they're all coming from Central America.
They but yeah, well, nobody likes Joe Biden at all right now. But I mean, nobody likes Trump either, really. I mean, this somebody the other day. I was listening to a girl. She said, "I'm just going to vote for Biden because I have to." And her friend said, "I'm not voting for Biden." She said, "I'm not doing another 4 years." She said, "I don't like Trump." She said, "But I'm voting for Trump." She said, "This is bullshit we're going through." Because I'm already. I figure if I don't keep raising my prices, I'll be out of business in a year, because at the rate everything is raising around me, so I'm paying 3 times as much for everything I was in 2020 or 2019 when COVID started.
Do you do a lot of electrical conduit work?
Yeah, we do everything.
Okay, so
matter of fact, we were doing electrical work today.
The electrical conduit is actually going up like 100%. So pre-COVID, I was selling a 10-foot half-inch stick of electrical conduit, PVC plastic, for $1.56, $2 maybe after tax, or close to $2. Now, COVID hit, gas went down, or President Biden hit, COVID hit, and the gas prices went up, plastic prices went up. Those same sticks are now $7.58. You can go to the Home Depot and check them out. They're probably higher the further away you are from the shore. They're now $10 after tax, and those prices have not come down in those 3 years since the.
And I hate to say, lately we've been shopping both Lowe's and Home Depot, and
the same prices on both. I worked at both places.
Not anymore. They're not. Home Depot's staying about 20%. So just put this in real quick, because I was there today. We went by to pick up a case of bulbs, 30 bulbs, just T12s. They're usually $140. They were $99 at Home Depot. I was impressed. I was like, wow. And the ballast had come down $10 in price. But you know why? Because we're phasing out all of that shit. Sooner or later, all that T12 and all them ballasts are going to be gone, because we're going to LEDs.
Need it.
Yeah. So
most of what you can do 2 things with the new LED T12 light bulbs. Is you can get the LED that has a bypass ability, where what that means is you go to the ballast, you cut the wires off, you rewire the wires so the lights get their electricity, and you put the new LEDs in, ballast is gone. Or you can get the plug and play style that need the ballast. You plug those new lights in, the ballast stays in place, but it still consumes electricity. So I don't know why they did that choice. The ballast is always on when the light is on. It consumes energy. You get rid of the ballast, you have 2 light bulbs that draw 14 watts. And you had 2 light bulbs that used to draw 96 watts. That's a huge savings in electrical.
Oh, it is, especially in buildings like the one we're in right now has got 3,000 fixtures in it, big fixtures. That's the 2x4s, and then we got a bunch of other fixtures besides that. I mean, and that's just one building. It makes a big difference. But anyway, guys, we're going to get away from that topic now. But we got to take a little quick break here. So we're gonna where's it at? Oh, I lost it already. Look at this.
You gonna play that song I put in private chat?
No, not yet. We're gonna play it later. But this is something. This is very short song, people, and then we're gonna come right back. Just a very short break. This is because of something I was reading about earlier today. So let me go find this right quick and stop messing around with y'all's time. And I know all y'all are so big of a hurry to get out there and vote for whoever the hell you're going to vote for. So I just want y'all to be happy and vote for who you want to vote for. But anyway, let me throw this up here and we will play this real quick. And don't forget, this is the kind of car that I want, people. You know, Mrs. Dane wasn't bad looking.
Daughter wasn't too bad either.
His boy Elroy. Southern Judy. Jane, his wife.
Dun, dun. No, see how fast that was? Look at that. That was ow.
I always thought the school that they dropped the little
We're
boy
using
off
magic?
was Little Diaper because of my dyslexia, but it says Little Dipper.
Well, you know, when you're young, what do you know? It's one of them things. Why is my damn camera on? It's here, camera. What the hell's going on? Oh, that's why.
Did we lose Sean? Yeah, Sean bumped himself out, I think. There he is.
There he is. We doubled him out. Good evening and welcome to the haunted house. No, I'm just kidding, young people. So I don't know where all these so-called polls are going. I can't wait to see on some of this stuff. What do you mean, Kareem? You know what? Hold on a second. I'll tell you. Where was it? I had it on here earlier. So where was it? Oh, wait. Let's wait. Before we go there, let's go back to space for a few minutes. So NASA says they bumped up, sent a signal that got Voyager 1 to behave itself and get a signal back. Well, some people at NASA said that wasn't true. There was a signal sent from Voyager to NASA. And yes, with directions about something. And then all of a sudden, NASA said, oh, no, we sent a signal and we woke it up and we're thinking maybe it'll start behaving now. So this will be the third time one of our probes was mysteriously repaired out of the blue by itself. It's a little strange. It's happening on Mars. It's just a little bit strange. It's like, you know, these stupid humans don't know how to build shit. Let's bring it on, hook it up for them. They made it this far with it after all. You know, let's send it out further in space.
Yeah, but if you use the Star Trek model of what was the probe that was altered by an alien intelligence, and then it thought Captain Kirk was its creator, and it was on its way back to Earth to exterminate all humanity. So it might not be a good thing if some alien guys come around and reprogram our stuff.
Only if they're Borg-like people. Hopefully,
Yeah.
they're everyday aliens. Reese, you know, when you look up at the universe, it's hard to think that there's not something else out there besides us.
There's just too much stuff up there.
Look, nobody can say. I mean, we can all speculate. No, we can all speculate. Even if you say you've been taken by an alien, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to believe you anyway. They're going to be like, really?
Some government guy might. He might get in my labs a visitation.
You know, so speaking of that, the government's their own worst enemy when it comes to alien research. It's like the Koresh thing. I mean, he was obviously, after you listen to this guy, he's a complete utter idiot. And then he gives you all of this testimony. And then at the end, he goes, well, I've never actually really seen anything. So this is all second and most of it's third-hand information. And I'm like, why'd you waste our time? Why'd you even waste America's time with third-hand information? Dr. Greer was already enough. Why are you going to waste our time with third-hand information? Give us something for real. Because, you know, because that's what he was saying. The guy was saying how fragile they were and how they fell at the sky and how they did this and then this. And then these Air Force and Navy pilots come up and say, I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about, but they were there, they were gone, they were leaving us in dust. They made our missiles fall at the sky. Their wakes flipped our jets over. I mean, and then I still remember the senator goes, well, you think you could have done harm to him, and the guy just started laughing like, no, I don't think we could have done harm to him in any shape, form, or fashion. But yet the crash guy saying we could. He was one of the ones like the Duluth people who thinks we were running underground machine gun fights with aliens. I would never even irritate a Gray. The Gray's psychic ability is so much beyond us. It doesn't need a weapon to kill us. Sheer thought's enough for them to kill us. So I'm not even sure why, or sometimes, of course, some of this has to do with when you're in research, you're only as good as your last project, I guess. Well, if you want to be a lecturer.
It could be that there's, we live in like a Buck Rogers universe where there's thousands of different civilizations, some that we might only encounter once or whatever. And maybe maybe there's one subset of those species that's traded for the technology, not really good at using it, and we take them down with high-powered microwave weapons or something. I have no idea, but if our government didn't lie to us about everything, I might have a better, more informed opinion.
Well, just a couple ways to look at this. So anything coming from space, no kind of radar, any kind of thing's going to bother, X-ray or anything, because it's already experiencing that all in space.
Yeah, there's a lot more
and at higher magnitudes than we can produce. So that's not, and like lightning bolts, that's not going to affect it either because it charge energy in space. So now coming from a different dimension, which means it's still inside the atmosphere, is different. Mm-hmm. So it's like us flying an F-22. So if we were flying an F-22 through a ring somewhere, and it was coming into another world, and gravity was different, or anything was different for that matter, it could come down.
Yeah,
but we wouldn't keep sending them. No, that's the difference. So we after we lost 4 or 5, we would just quit. We'd come up with some kind of probe. We'd start sending drones. Is what we do. Drone.
Well, it could also be that the bodies that they find are, what's the word for it? They could be biological androids, right?
They could be that too.
Effectively drones.
So. But hey, Joe, Leah has a question. Why is the Blink 182 guy all big in the UFO community now?
Because
he's a useful idiot.
Yes, he's Tom DeLonge has press. He has press. He has a way to get things out. What he's seen, what he's experienced, and what he hasn't. So I had met him in Washington D.C. I think was it the 10th? I think it was the last X conference when I met him, and we were sitting there talking, and he wasn't telling me about anything that he had personally experienced or anything. He was just talking about why this field should be, better, more out there, more in mainstream. And I was like, well, it's never going to happen in mainstream until mainstream people start coming out and saying, hey, this is real. He said, well, I'm mainstream. I said, yes, but you're only one amongst how many billions? I said, the problem is America has a lot. Today, there's 400 million of us. How are you going to convince 400 million people? I said, you can't even convince some bitches to go vote. How are you going to convince anything else?
How much of our population actually votes each year?
Yeah, and worse than that, you can't even convince them on global climate change or anything for that matter. We're always at two minds now. Where the world used to not be like this, because the problem is today there's no leader that can make both sides feel comfortable. There may be in the future, but there is none right now.
Well, they've done things in the public school systems that have, bipartisan to everybody, critical race theory and other things they've introduced into the schools, and taking other things out that you absolutely need to survive, like being able to write your name in cursive. And you can't sign it. You're not supposed to sign a check, in print.
Well, I mean, the problem is a huge percentage of the country is subscribed to post-humanist racial communism. So until they get rid of that.
Sean, I'm sorry, but what is that?
Good.
Well, I mean, think about post-humanism, right? Like cutting off body parts, changing yourself into a human wolf, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
you combine that.
What do they call that? Body modification. Yeah.
Yeah, you combine that with. I mean, there's a very clear example of it, use case of it, but I'm deliberately not saying it. Everybody kind of knows what I'm talking about. And then there's wokeism or DEI, all that like racial communism. And it's the combination of those two things that is just kind of basically gone off the ranch at this point.
Well, I'm woke and I'm having a petition to get rid of Barbie because it makes young men have bad thoughts.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
correct.
I can't disagree with that.
Let Dems. What do you got to say about that? Oh, y'all want to get rid of this, that, and that thing? I think Barbie needs to go. Yep.
Show of
that's it.
hands, how many of you played with the original G.I. Joe doll and had a sister? And when your sisters and her friends were playing with their Barbies and you and your friends were playing with your G.I. Joes, what usually happened? The G.I. Joes invaded the Barbie camp, beat Ken up, and took the girls.
I used to blow up all of it, man.
That's how we played G.I. Joe when I was a kid.
I put a quarter stick under my sister's Barbie car, her little Corvette. I put it down the driveway and put a quarter stick and sent it down the driveway. Blew it to living shit and back. Boy, I got grounded for like 3 weeks. Had no allowance. Had to buy a damn kid a damn Barbie car again. Yeah. I blew up her Barbie house too. I got in real trouble for that. The thing was like $300 even back then. I had a blast. They're like, you got problems blowing shit up? I said, no, it was her own fault. The chick was crazy. I mean, she still is actually. She
just left it sitting there in her room, locked behind her bedroom door.
Yeah, she used to drive me nuts. Oh no, she'd drag it out there and have the car and everything out in the yard. It was just too much to resist, man. It was just too much.
I don't want to hear the story about what you did to her easy bake oven.
No, I actually used her easy. I stole that.
Okay.
I used to keep that in my bedroom. Mom said, "You seen Stephanie's easy bake?" I said, "No, mine must be in the front somewhere. I don't know where it's at." And then, like 30 minutes later, I'm baking a little cake. I hear knocking at the door. I'm like, "What do you want, Mom?" She said, "Give me goddamn oven." All right, Mom, you can have it. Man, the easy bake ovens were great. Come on, cake in like 5 minutes. Oh man, when you're young, like 16, growing up, you need all that extra energy. All right, people, whatever.
All right, Joe. Next.
Yes. Next something. Wait, let's go see our list of topics over here. Let's see what we got over here. What's this? What is this? New strange science behind felt presences. Ooh, what the hell is that?
That's creepy.
So that's when you're feeling. So when you're in like a room or a silent room, you can feel something or sense something.
Oh yeah.
You feeling a presence.
Yes, that's legit, dude. Yes.
So it's a sensation that occupied the forefathers of psychology for a long time, including William James writing various religious experiences. Oh, damn, he's going by religion. Let's not get crazy now. Sometimes you can feel like it's things on the back of your neck because you can sense something near you or by you.
Yeah, it's a ghost.
They're saying
is it always a ghost though?
They're saying it's because you're getting wacky, is what they're saying.
Well, I mean, it could not necessarily be just a ghost. It could be another world.
Welcome to my world, guys. Welcome to my world.
Well, even they train guys in like special operators, like in Delta, to when you're surveilling or you're kind of trying to hide yourself from a sentry, you're not supposed to look at them because they can eventually people sense that they're being watched. So you're supposed to keep your eyes, just kind of make sure you know where they are, kind of quick look and then down, because people can sense that. So
people can usually.
It's from when we were predated on by larger creatures. When we were smaller monkeys, we have that, fight or flight instinct, and we know that something is stalking us.
That's if we were smaller monkeys.
If we were smaller monkeys.
Well, let me rephrase that. For all you RH positive people, yes, y'all were smaller monkeys. For all these RH negative people, they were not smaller monkeys. There we go. We've cleared that up now. Russia and China leading in hypersonic innovation. Here's what's holding the U.S. back. And what is holding the U.S. back? Moronic, stupid scientists. Well, that's not a nice thing to say.
Well, how about they have all these craft that may have crashed, and they're keeping like 50 people in the loop, and then they're not allowing smarter people to come in and figure it out because they're idiots.
Well, I'm not going to argue that they're idiots. I mean, for the most part, that's what I'm seeing. What is that? Christopher Robinson Crew so much? Yes, I have seen it. It's an old movie. Yes. That's when they tried to let you know that by burning rocks, you could breathe on Mars and hear this monkey following around and found water and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember it. Hundreds of ancient invisible structures discovered near our galaxy center. Yet another article about this.
I read that one last week, and I think that one is actual, like, natural structures. I don't think they found an unnatural thing.
Is it just clickbait again? Is it just clickbait?
Yeah, that one's clickbait.
Oh, yeah, it really is. It really is. It's So the problem here is how did we know what it is that far away?
Yeah, I don't know that we
And
have
since
that
it's not
really great
supposed
of a
to be
technology.
there, it's not supposed to be there. So what the hell? What is it? So wait,
Well,
what
and
is this?
that's a good point because we could be seeing and that other one you talked about that seemed to indicate manual construction. It could, we haven't discovered everything that's in the galaxy, in the universe.
Oh,
So there may be constructions that look man-made that are actual, natural constructions in the universe. That's
but we
very
need
possible.
but we need to look at this differently. So 14 billion years ago, the galaxy was much more condensed. Anything that was alive back then would have really been easily to move around inside of all that condensation. Anywhere galaxies were formed, they probably would have been very close together. That was one of the things they talked about. Because remember in the beginning, they said there were no galaxies after the Big Bang. Not for a while. They were further out. But just recently, they found that wasn't true. So if you had life in any of them galaxies, that's 14 billion year old life. The only way we can perceive these people is as gods. I don't think they would even have a physical technology. It would probably be all a mental technology, like what they call the light beings. There'd probably be an energy being actually by that time. I mean, humans are probably involved in that, but not for a long time. Billion years or so, maybe two.
If we get that far.
Yeah, that's something else. Well, once we get off this planet, we got a much better chance of really.
No, it's not just that planet we got to get through. We got to get through a galactic federation that has 4 or 5 different government agencies watching.
I say we send Luke Han Solo there with a nuclear weapon strapped to his back and send him into the council, and 100 million worlds gone one shot.
It'd be a lot easier. It'd be a lot easier to hit Boba Fett on the back.
Hey, guys, I think I have to watch all the Star Wars movies, man.
Yeah, you really should, Sean.
Yes,
Start with the first one, Star Wars: A New Hope, and then go from there.
Yeah, it says
You never watched them?
No, not really.
Yeah, you got to watch them in this order: 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. That's the correct sequence.
Yes,
I wouldn't waste my time on 7, 8, 9.
Well,
I would waste my time on 1, 2, 3.
I think as bad as 1, 2, 3 are, they're superior to the direct that
they do have some pretty mind blowing special effects.
What I would say about 1, 2, 3 is they were more fun.
They were written for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, that's true. They were. Well, George Lucas said he wrote the first one for his kid. He actually said that. So
he wrote the first one for his kid, then he wrote the second
and then 7, 8, 9 were written by
of my generation.
7, 8, 9 were Disney, weren't they?
6 years old.
Yeah, they were written by Joseph
my
Goebbels.
generation, and I would still bring my child. He wrote it wrong. He could have done so much better.
I don't know how Disney f's up everything. Let's see. Western special operations activity on the rise around in the U.S. partners in strategic but unstable area of the Mediterranean. What is unstable about the Mediterranean?
It's like all of it.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
I mean, come on. I mean, we're in the Mediterranean. That's like Greece and Turkey and Italy. I mean, who's unstable over there?
But right now, it's just the Israelis.
Yeah,
and Hamas.
Israel. Yeah, Israel's going on there.
They qualify. They're in the Mediterranean.
Are they really? I thought they were in the Red Sea, man.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
The Red Sea. Yeah, I mean, well,
kind of sure about that. The Israel's like right up on the eastern edge
on the
of
coast.
the Mediterranean.
Red Sea's on the other side.
Yeah, they're between the Red Sea and the Mediterranean.
I say, y'all already know my solution to the Middle East, so we're just going to leave it alone. But y'all know mine.
It's the same solution I have. Just make a giant plate of glass.
Your solution's one button away. It's one button away.
Yeah, that's right. It's so China now is getting all ballsy. So China's like, look. So China, in case y'all didn't notice, China's nukes aren't actually deployed. Matter of fact, most of the countries except for Russia and the U.S. aren't deployed. They have them, but they're not actually deployed in like ours are.
They're in storage.
It's not they can't get it deployed pretty quickly, but they're not actually deployed. So Xi Jinping says that there should be a first strike no. You can't go around threatening to nuke people, and you can't use a nuke unless one was used against you or it's a last hope. Other than that, you can't use them. Because one, he's only got 800 or 600, whatever it is, compared to our 5,000. It's just, and he knows any way it goes, he loses. If we nuke Russia, a good chunk of that's going to fall into China. If they nuke us, a good chunk of that's going to fall into China. It's a no-win situation for them. And they won't even be getting nuked, and they'll be contaminated country. And when you got 1.4 billion people to feed, your water supply and food supply cannot become contaminated because everybody's going to die. So you got to give Xi Jinping at least credit for thinking about it. What do you mean, Hong Kong? Hong Kong? Where's Hong Kong? Hong Kong's on one of the
Hong Kong's at the
Pacific.
bottom border of China in the Hong Kong Bay, Kowloon Bay, I believe it's called. So it's like it's the bottom of the country. It really is. It's the very bottom of China.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Joe Biden takes stunning lead over Donald Trump in 2.
Oh, good Lord.
Here it is. Here
Okay.
it is.
This is what you're waiting for,
So
Sean.
noble, so brave, stunning.
So now that we know this, President Joe
Very
Biden
inspiring.
has gained surprise narrow lead over Donald Trump in 2 polls 8 months before the elections. Oh my God. Even though
John,
his
very
approval
inspired.
rating, has synced to an all-time low. But we're going to vote for this man anyway.
And we still have 8 months to go. He could have a heart attack.
It was
tomorrow.
confirmed this
Kamala Harris
week.
could be president for 6 months, and then boom.
Yeah, he could bring in 5 million more Haitians. He'll be good to go. He'll be fine.
You never
I know,
know.
huh? It was okay. So they've both already won their primary. So here we go. In the 2 polls appeared, Biden might marginally beat his rival. One is Reuters. Oh my God, Reuters. Okay. Reuters poll 3,356 voters found
They're
Biden.
already
would
setting
get-
this up for some dirty tricks. You
Yeah.
can tell
Yeah.
already.
Wait. So wait. This is
Well,
how,
we've been seeing dirty politics this whole time, so it's nothing.
no,
new.
but this is great. So Biden would get 39% of the vote, while Trump would get 38% of the vote. Give me a
That's what happened last time.
yes. Well,
38.99999%
so
with a nice
there's-
little flip vote reversal in the last
I
minute.
know. There's only a 1.8% variance in this poll. Wow, that's pretty good.
All right, so wait a minute. So they're saying Joe Biden 39, Trump 38. That's less
40%,
than yeah. Where's the other 60?
Other
How much
30%. Yeah,
Kennedy get?
30%.
How much does who else get? You know.
Well, that's 30% of nothing. Don't even tell you where another 30% are voting because nobody wants to vote for these 2 SOBs. It's going to really be the one who gets out and impresses the people in the last 2 months of the election. That's what it's going to make a difference. And if Trump can get his legal woes under control, it's going to be Trump. Because here's another one for y'all. So Biden's out giving speeches today. I'm Joe Biden. Come along with me. I'm Joe Biden. Come see me. So everybody's coming to see Joe Biden. So the press started asking him questions. All of a sudden, people just
You're
come
like,
out of
"Whoa,
nowhere
no."
and shuffle him away, man. And so even NBC got pissed. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. We can't ask a question because, NBC was going to ask him a fluff question. Oh, no. They didn't even want him to answer a fluff question. He was gone. And then later on that day, they were asking him something about LGBTQ. And, the girl asked him if he knew what it meant. And he went off and it was sad. That's all I can tell you.
I got to
It was
check
like-
that out.
It might still be. I doubt it'll be around for long. They're not gonna leave it up because it was.
I mean, do you really think you could get 3 letters into it without telling a story about Uncle Cracker and
I gotta say, I'm amazed at how fast they can scrub bad shit about Trump. About Biden, though, man. It's like a well-oiled machine out there. Mike Pence declares, "I will not be endorsing Donald Trump for 2024."
no one cares.
And no one on earth could have ever predicted that statement.
I don't want to laugh at you, Mr. Pence, but Jesus, come on, man. My freaking
No,
Chihuahua knew that wasn't gonna happen. I mean, Lord have mercy.
That guy makes Vanilla look sexy.
I know he's such a freaking idiot. Oscars ratings take tumble with key demographics. What? Nobody wants to watch. I don't think it was key demographics. I think nobody wanted to watch the crap. And what is this? Wait. So who was he attacking? Oh, the guy who played Iron Man. What's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.
I'm telling you, your boy, lucky that Robert didn't come up and punch him in the head. I watched part of it. I was like, ooh, I'd have got him. I'd have played a Will Smith on his ass.
Oh yeah.
I'd have played a Will Smith on him, man.
Yeah.
So that shit, why not even let them do shit like that? That's not funny. Somebody should listen to that shit ahead of time, and which somebody does.
They have a rehearsal. It's like that's what happened with Will Smith, he wasn't there at the rehearsal then because he's a guest, but they definitely, when that guy said that thing that made Will Smith come and beat him, they had a rehearsal before they went live, at least the day before, and they were probably using that exact same script.
Yeah. So they're saying they're saying Oscars have lost cultural relevance.
I stopped watching. I used to love watching it. I don't watch it anymore.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Hey, you know what? If they got rid of Jimmy Kimmel, I think it would be an okay show to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe it might come back. Yeah, but I
I
stopped
don't know.
watching the Tonight Show because of him too. I don't think he's
if it
funny.
was staffed by people who, like, you know, or at least people who attended weren't to the like left of the Chinese Red Guards, then yeah, maybe I'd watch it again. But
How about John Cena coming across the stage like barely naked, man? You know, all these young kids that watch wrestling admire him, and all of a sudden they see him walking across the stage butt naked. Come on. Why?
Because it's shocking.
Can you explain it? Anybody?
That's why, because it's shocking. It makes people think. It sells. You know how many more people are going to go click that just to see that?
because his Chinese TikTok handlers told him to do it.
That's probably true too. That's the bad part.
And the other answer is it's Hollywood. It's California. It's how they're running now. They're shocking people.
It's freaking ridiculous. Like I tell you what, I can't even look at Kimmel on TV anywhere.
I don't think he's funny at all.
No, he's not funny.
He's not anymore. When he first started, he wasn't too bad. But
well, remember he started on the Man Show. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
like the stuff if he did any of that routine today, he would be canceled immediately.
Yeah,
it's misogyny.
Misogyny. Oh man, I thought you were talking about misogyny, man. What misogyny, man? Screw that. I want to go the other way. What's up, Bruce? Actually, we're getting ready to play something in just a second. Questions about what? Oh no, I'm by far the sexiest. I just not even a doubt about that. No. we can just move. The other three can bitch, but we're not going to worry about that.
Well, it's in the correct order. Joe's first, I'm second, and then Sean 1 is 3.
You have to put the footnote. The footnote is for men ages 35 to 64.
Oh, you see,
in terms of like,
goes.
that demographic puts Joe.
Just for the Hawaiians, I'm the one who's 35.
No,
that's right. You do find him sexy, don't you, Jay? I mean, I can tell.
What do you mean? I'm the one that's 30. What the hell y'all talking about?
No, that's the demographic they surveyed, Joe. They surveyed males aged 35 to 64, and you were found the sexiest.
Yeah, that's okay. They can think I'm sexy. I don't mind. It's what's that? Gimbal? Oh, you're going to use gimbal now? Gimbal. That was just stupid. No, when I say I'm sexy, I mean worldwide, man, for everybody. Yes, I don't discriminate. If you want to look at me, that's fine. I don't care if you're a guy or whatever you want to call yourself these days. whatever alphabet you want to choose to describe your personal being.
Joe, two words. Assless chaps.
Let's see. I got to vote. I got to vote in the room, man. See, y'all already getting dogged out.
And here's 2 more words for you, Sean. Blue oyster. The blue. It wasn't it. No.
It sounds like 3 words to me, Jay.
Yeah,
it was the gay bar in the police academy. It's the blue oyster.
The blue oyster. Come on.
All right. I'm reeling this back in.
One of the scenes in Hollywood history. Those 2 guys.
See, people, this is what happens when you do unrehearsed people. Anyway, we're moving on from this topic. Wait, hold on.
You started it.
All right, I got to stop laughing for a damn minute. It's what the hell? I forgot what the hell we were doing here. So anyway, Trump must have got some bad news. I mean, not Trump. Somebody else must have got some bad news today. Let me see if I can actually find what it actually was since I got the yapping. Weissmann, Judge Cannon ruling today was worst possible outcome for Jack Smith. Isn't he the special counsel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what this is, because obviously MSNBC is not happy about this. MSNBC, I love you people. We do. We love y'all.
They like Biden.
Now you see, wait till you see these 4 clowns, and you think, let's see people when y'all could be. Why would you watch these guys when you could be watching us for? I mean,
well, here's the funny thing. This
plus
if
they
had. And this is MSNBC. Why are they all white? Why are they all white males? Isn't this like patriarchy? What's going on?
Because in real life in MSNBC, only white people count. Oh yeah, they give it. Well, you know what? They fired most of their black hosts. You forgot about that. They got rid of them, a bunch of them. I don't exactly know why they did, but they did. Well, we don't.
Probably, I would think related
Nobody,
to the BLM
nobody,
movement.
nobody on this network is racist. No, because we don't care what color you are. All we care.
No, we hate
Because I keep
everybody.
telling y'all, this is not about race anymore. This is about class. We're in a class war, not a race war.
It's
you're
been
fighting
a class war. They're trying to disguise
Yes.
it through color.
Well, they try to.
Exactly.
But if you're fighting a race war, whatever color you may be, you've already lost.
Yeah, you're
Because it's
fighting the
not
wrong
about-
war.
Look, when it comes right down to it, when you see us so here you go, people. We're going to a concert. Let's see, any concert down in the city. When you walk into there, they're going to be blacks, going to be whites, going to be Hispanics, going to be Asians, going to be a nice mix, healthy mix. And guess what? They're going to be 100,000 people, and you know what? There's not even going to be a fight.
Ain't none of them fighting.
Not at all.
We had for Mardi Gras 2 million people down here from all 40 different countries, every race you can think of, and guess what? It was peaceful and fun. So, it tells you right there. If it was a race thing, there'd be fights all over the place, but this isn't.
But yeah,
This
you
is
couldn't
a
have an
class
event
thing.
like that.
Yeah, the government don't really give a shit what color you are. They like to whip that up like the news media does because it's good for press and it's good to help control us. But they're really more interested in what you and I have. That's what they're after. I mean, look how much Joe Biden's taken away from all of us. 2/3 of everybody's wealth in the last 3 years. And y'all want to reelect the bastard. I made
It's
record
just a
profit under Trump.
It's just a stealth tax increase.
The
It's
only
a progressive tax. It's not regressive. It's progressive.
So anyway, we're going to play this right quick, and y'all can tell us what you think of how long is this thing. We might have to take a little break. This might be our break, but
We're sorry, regressive, not progressive.
yeah. So this is about 10 minutes, guys. I don't know if we're going to listen to the whole 10 minutes, but we're going to cue this up. Any moans, groans, bitches, or gripe, please write to who? Michelle DeRoche. Anyway. Jesus. Don't be laughing like that, Sean. Jesus. It's going to get me in
He's
trouble.
laughing because I was mouthing the name as like you were doing the voice and I was doing
Yeah,
the
just make sure they're
voiceover.
spicy. Make sure they're spicy.
That's right. Make sure to spice. But anyway, y'all, let's see what's going on here. And I got to love hearing these MSNBC guys. I mean, it's like, okay, kind of nerd, crazy nerd, super freaky nerd. And oh my God, I didn't know I was a nerd. I'm sorry.
He looks kind of like the younger
Your
brother
reading
of
of the judge's
Crane.
order here, which in my reading included almost the encouragement that they bring this issue up again.
This was the worst possible outcome for the government because if the judge had simply said,
Is this guy
I
Inspector
agree
Pocket
with
Protector?
Donald
No.
Trump and I find that this
I
is
bet you
vague
nobody's
and I'm
good.
dismissing it, the government could have appealed it to the 11th Circuit, as they have done twice before and won twice before. And that is something that this judge is trying to avoid at all cost. But she also did not want to rule in favor of the government. So what she did is said, you know what, why don't you bring this up later? I think there's some real issues here. And so she sort of flagged that. And there will be a lot of complications if she deals with this after a jury is sworn in this case, because that is the key moment where double jeopardy attaches, and there are various legal consequences
Go,
to that.
Judge Girl,
So
go.
this is the worst possible decision for the government. And by kicking it down the road and saying, but I still may decide in Donald Trump's favor later, she has sort of avoided the sort of Damocles of the 11th Circuit, but she has not given the government what they clearly, as you pointed out, deserve, because there is nothing vague about the statute. People are in jail all over, as Bradley knows, for violating this statute.
Neil, your reading of what happened in that courtroom today and the ensuing judgment.
Yeah, I think Andrew is basically right that, there were definitely, I think, much better outcomes for the government, including even possibly just a straight loss that would allow them to take the appeal. But on the other hand, the Judge Cannon did basically suggest that this isn't vague, or at least not vague enough at this moment in time. Now, that is a win for the government, but it is only a temporary win and not a huge one. And my fear, Lawrence, is that this is going to be a win for Jack Smith in the same way as like the win will be once the Supreme Court decides the absolute immunity case that they're hearing on April 25th. I think there's no chance the United States Supreme Court is going to side with Trump on absolute immunity, but the court, by having such a delayed schedule, gave Donald Trump what he wants, which is a very realistic possibility he can delay the case past the election. That's basically what Cannon has done here too, kicking the can down the road. I mean, Lawrence, she had a full day hearing about these two.
Oh, commercial people. Oh, this is not a commercial that we endorse in any shape, form, or fashion. And just thought I'd tell y'all that.
Two legal issues, which were thoroughly absurd. I mean, really, the only thing Donald Trump's arguments merit is an eye roll and a swift denial, and not this kind of, belabored one-day hearing and the like. And every time she has these hearings, it delays the day of reckoning for Donald Trump, which is all he wants. Because if he can stretch this past the election, he can order the Justice Department to drop this prosecution.
And Bradley Moss, given the history of the Espionage Act and the use of it in criminal cases, has this ever been raised before, that it's too vague to use in prosecution?
Every single criminal defendant, as far as I know, who's ever been prosecuted under the Espionage Act brings this same motion. They all argue it's unconstitutional, it's too vague, it can't be applied like this, and they all fail. Judges over and over in multiple district courts across the country have always rejected this argument. And what concerns me, and this is kind of following up a bit on what Andrew was saying, is Judge Cannon's failing to meet the moment here. Look, this is going to be one of the most monumental cases she's ever going to handle. There's been a number of cases over the last decade, all tied up with Donald Trump one way or another, where judges have had to put their name in a moment in history and say, here's my view on the law, right or wrong. Here's how I'm assessing it. She keeps punting. She keeps bobbing and weaving, trying to push it off onto somebody else to make the tough choice. She's trying to push off some of this into potentially being a jury issue, making 12 ordinary Americans try to evaluate things that lawyers far smarter than me argue over every single day. And now he's going to stick it onto a jury. This is her job. She's going to have to rule on this as a matter of law, or she's going to be putting way too much burden on this jury.
And Andrew, it never occurred to anyone in a confirmation, a judicial confirmation hearing, to ask the question, will you recuse yourself from criminal cases involving the president who appointed you? Because, of course, it's never happened in history. But here we are. And here the country is watching.
Wait, let's pause this for a second, because anybody listening to this, I want to bring up something really quick. The Georgia district attorney hasn't recused herself because she hated on Trump quite a lot during the 2016 election and 2020 election. Also, the judge and the prosecutor in New York City also hated on Trump in major, major ways, and none of them to recuse themselves. And the reason I'm saying this is just shows you the hypocrisy right here of Democrats, because all four of these guys, by the way, are Democrats. So they want, we want her to recuse, but we didn't ask for the recusal of the judge in New York or the prosecutor in Georgia. Why? So that's hypocrisy at work. But anyway, we'll go back and we're going to get out here and go to another one in just a second, but here y'all go.
This grotesquerie of a Trump-appointed judge leaning in every way she possibly can in favor of the man who appointed her to her judgeship, the most glaring and poisonous conflict of interest you could ask for in a federal courtroom.
Oh, I would think that's the ones in New York, my friend.
This dynamic of her judicial future if Donald Trump were somehow to win the Electoral College again, which is obviously dangling in the
somehow
in its totally obscene way.
God Almighty!
I agree with you.
I'd like to ask
what
these guys,
she's doing and her behavior, and the fact that she has been reversed twice for.
So anyway, that's enough. All of that's giving me a headache at this point. But y'all go listen to the rest of it. That is courtesy of MSNBC. We want to make sure they get credit for their 5 minutes that they donated to us, and make out what you want to make out of it. If we're going to talk about hypocrisy, then we need to talk about the Georgia case and the New York case, for that matter, the DC case. So there's no one trying to prosecute Trump right now that didn't publicly speak out against him. So automatically,
why isn't Trump bringing these videos to these courts?
Well, they know it's not a thing. The judge in New York, he's in New York. Who's going to make him step down? Governor Hochul? No. What's his name? Mayor Adams? No. Nobody's going to force him to step down.
What about the ethics committee? I mean, if they're
in
clearly
New York,
jaded
there is no
against them
ethics.
from their
No.
public statements, they can't.
We're talking
rule against
New York, Jay. We're talking New York. There's no ethics in New York. Let's just be
Nope,
honest.
there isn't.
And it doesn't matter. The federal's not going to get involved because it's an election year and Joe Biden's up for election. It's the Democrats have done this really well. I noticed this in the last 2 terms. They have weaponized the FBI in a really good way. And what got me is how well they weaponed the FBI when so many of them were conservatives. Because, most people that get into law enforcement are generally not Democrats.
Yeah, and weren't most of them years earlier talking about defunding police organizations, including the FBI?
Including the FBI. But see, it's the parties that forget by because you hate Trump, you're going to go side with the devil. Well, that's never a good thing. Let the man have his 4 years. Maybe we'll get a good another president, whoever VP, maybe it'll turn out to be a good one. And we'll see the next 12 years of really good government in our country, and things will change and we'll have a much better country. Or, we'll end up in a nuclear war with Russia because Joe Biden fell asleep and his head hit the damn button.
It's going to be so much fun watching Democrats sweat for 3 months after he wins.
No,
and they're thinking like, oh my God, if he does the same stuff we did to him, oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so satisfying seeing them.
How many of them are going to have court cases against them and be arrested and
embarrassed
publicly?
So what's his face on MSNBC? This guy's been doing news for a long time. He had to have known you can't prosecute a sitting president, even if it is before he was there. Once he sits his ass down in that chair, that's it. You got to wait till the end of his presidency to prosecute him. You can't drag a sitting president into court. Now you can impeach him, but they ain't got enough votes to do that. So that's just a waste of time. And the country's really pissy about the last 2 impeachments. Even the Democrats saw that as a waste of time. And today, if you go poll 100 Democrats, 55 or 60% are going to tell you they feel that these charges are politically motivated. And that's his own party. And they are politically motivated. But why, if the FBI ain't going to do it, we got the NSA, we got the CIA. Why don't one of you other alphabets step up and do something about this bullshit?
Well, not to mention the tremendous waste of money and resources for the January 6th kangaroo court. There's that too.
Yeah.
Frankie, look, there's so much corruption that I don't even know how we're going to we need one person. See, Donald Trump could have been it. See, Donald Trump, unfortunately, is his worst own enemy. But if he could have kept that savoir-faire going and dropped some of that other stuff off and did the job he did, he would have easily
stirred up too many fires. That's the problem.
He's
made too many people.
But but there is things I like about him, that he wants to get the swamp clean, and he has done things to change DC. And if he gets in again, he will get more stuff.
They don't want to lose their jobs. I mean, it's like
they're scared of
fighting for the last scrap of food at a meal.
So I was watching the Mississippi Democratic Society the other day on closed circuit. They do their TV thing, and I'm a member of both them and the Republicans. And I'm watching. They're panicking. They're in a real panic. And I was talking to a friend of mine in D.C. He said, Joe, when we were at the meeting, he said we were at the I forgot what he called it, but anyway, it's a DNC meeting. He said they're panicked. He said they're not believing any polls right now because they think Donald Trump's going to win no matter what. They said they don't think they can cheat enough votes this time around to win. And it's worse than that. He said, besides that, he said, as this gets closer to the election time and Donald Trump really starts pushing Joe, odds are that there's going to even be a bigger switch to him. And he said what all of us have been saying for weeks. What about Kennedy? I just listened to Kennedy yesterday talk about how he's going to take votes from both candidates. He's, unfortunately, it's going to take more from the Democrats, but I'm going to take votes. And he's expecting to take 14 to 18% of the vote. Shit. Democrats, no way they can make that up. That's a loss for them. What's it, Frank? No, it's just, what do you mean? Do I hate the Democrats? No, I used to be one way back in on planet Venus, but well, no, I was a Republican too. I was fickle when I was young. What can I say? It's no, really and truly, what happened was I was a Republican. I was like, God, they're corrupt. I said, well, I'll try the Democrats out. And then I was like, oh, Jesus, they make the freaking Republicans look like they don't even know what they're doing as far as corruption goes. Oh no. So I said I was going to do independent, but All independence means is you're a dumbass and you don't know what to choose. I'm sorry. It's libertarian. That's why I'm a centrist. I like being in the middle because sometimes I feel like a nut and sometimes I don't. No, really. It's sometimes the Democrats say stuff that I'm like, you know what, they're right. And sometimes the Republicans say stuff, I know you're right. And I want to see we the people serve, not me the people, but we the people.
And it seems right now that the Republicans tend to serve we the people better than the Democrats.
So the last presidents that were we the people were Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton, and then maybe sort of Donald Trump. No, Obama wasn't we the people. Obama wanted to be we the people. He just couldn't figure out how to do it.
He didn't have control of the House, so he was blockaded at everything he tried to do. Same with Trump. I mean, that's the problem that happened with both of these guys.
Baby Bush was only we the people because we were too busy blowing up Iraq and Afghanistan to think about anything else, at least for the first 6 years. After that, we kind of like, well, there is no mass weapons of mass destruction. Shit. Oops. I think we were lied to. But you know what? In all fairness, they did kill Saddam, and he was a weapon of mass destruction. How many people he killed? He had killed, I forgot how many Iranians, like 11 million.
Millions.
Another 3 or 4 million top. He was a weapon of mass destruction. So we did.
I think he killed almost as many as Hitler, if not more.
We did find chemical weapons stockpiles.
I know. I remember we found chemical
he
weapons.
did.
Yeah, it was like 2,400 sarin-tipped rockets for sure, and there's a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it was old.
They had used, I think it was mustard gas they used on the Iranians.
Yeah. Yeah, they had mustard gas.
They used mustard gas on their own people, and then Bush said if he used chemicals on us, we'll use a nuke on him. And then there was a report that he did use chemicals on our troops, but it was a lie because we accidentally blew up one of his bunkers with chemical weapons, and it blew over on.
Oh, you're talking about in the first Gulf War, right?
Yeah.
That was
Persian Gulf. Yeah, that's probably Persian Gulf syndrome.
Stormy Norman, man.
But of course, our government, which lies to us about everything, didn't cop to it. So people who got that syndrome and died of like grievous cancers never got any support from the federal government.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just that shit around. That's why you see all these.
I'm not sure. Like, what does the federal government do anyway for all this tax money that we pay? Like, seriously, like, what do they? What do they do?
Pay. Okay, well, Congress. See, the president gets what? How much now? 800,000, 400,000. Senate each gets like $250 each. Plus, they get premium health care. Remember, they get flown around the country. They get wined and dined in meetings, and
some of them have lifetime
furniture.
Secret
Yes, and you know, it's just. And some of them have to have Secret Service, like people like
they
Chuck
get
Schumer,
proprietary, non-public material information on which they can legally trade on, which is wonderful for them.
By the way, what Sean just said was insider trading. In case y'all didn't understand what he just said,
it's legal for people in Congress and representatives.
It's literally legal for them to do that.
Y'all remember my girlfriend Martha Stewart? She went to jail for 6 months because of what? Insider trading. Well, that's where she learned to smoke weed, so that way when she got out, she could smoke with Snoop Dogg.
But it wasn't really insider trading. What happened is some FBI buffoon wrote the wrong day or wrote the wrong thing in the statement that he took, and because she quote unquote lied to an FBI agent, that's a felony. No. So another reason that you should never ever talk to somebody from that agency without a lawyer. Never.
Without a lawyer. Say what you want me to say? No, I know it. No, I know speaky FBI. No, I know speaky. No speaky. No FBI. No,
but be very polite. Good luck on your case. I wish you the best. I'm just not disposed right now, and I feel I'm actually frightened by this. So if you really need to talk to me, contact my lawyer, and I'll be happy to cooperate with you.
Jackie, so I have nothing really in real life. I have nothing but respect for the FBI because 90% of the people who work there are actually good people. Somehow or another, since Comey, kickface, never mind. Since him, the FBI's leadership seems to be lacking. Not that they won't go kick somebody's ass. It's just it just seems they seem to be more politically motivated, I guess is what I'm saying. And I just hate
to be on somebody's strings, like a marionette.
Yeah, they're highly proficient at sending SWAT teams to septuagenarian Mormons who could barely walk with a cane. Yeah. So they're very good at that.
Well, great grandmother, because
right.
Was I? No, I mean, the FBI has made some big boo-boos in their time. Okay, Waco was pretty bad. Ruby Ridge was worse because they killed his dog, his wife, his baby. I mean, that. Oh no, guys! So Ruby Ridge. So this guy made a sawed-off shotgun for somebody. Okay, this is
for the FBI.
Yes. So this is what all this is about: a sawed-off shotgun. Okay. Yeah. he lost. I'm not kidding you when I say they killed this kid, he killed his wife, killed his dog. They did. So they actually killed some more over time, but we'll get into that. So he made this for him. So the FBI said that it was below legal limits, like by like a quarter inch. So they went to go arrest him on false charges, trumped up charges, and it turned into a shootout because he didn't want to surrender himself because, he didn't want to because he hadn't broken any laws. So FBI just started shooting people. Yeah, no, he wasn't shooting back, by the way. They were just shooting people. So I forgot who it was, went running down, tried to run out the house. They shot him in the back, by the way. Oh, yeah, shot him in the back. So anyway, this goes to court finally. I forgot how many years later. And guess what? The gun is 1/8 of an inch oversized.
Oh.
All that death and all that stupidity because someone didn't take the time to measure a gun at least 2 times.
And they were basically just getting him to talk about some white separatist group or something like that.
That's what they were.
He wasn't a white separatist. He wasn't a whatever wherever they're called. He was just lived in the local community, and because he lived in the local community, he was friends with some of these people. Yes. And they tried to get him to infiltrate this group. And this guy's former special forces. He honorably served his country, and they screwed him. Like they tried to.
They screwed him. They blew him up for no reason. No, Jimmy, the Ruby Ridge cage is out there. You can go check it out for yourself. It's just, oh no, the FBI in the end lost and had to pay. But that doesn't bring your wife back, doesn't bring your kid back. You don't bring your dog back, man. I mean, come on. I forgot else. I think somebody else died out there too. But they went to a cabin with no one was shooting at them, surrounded the place. There was nowhere for these people to go, and then basically killed everybody but him. Yeah, because they wanted to know whatever information he had. No, they weren't going to kill him. They killed everybody else. Oh yeah, because I know when I first started hearing on the news, they said, "Oh no, these people were this or that or the other." They would label them all kind of ways, and then of course the truth got out, and then it was like, "Oh shit," and then it went to trial, and then more truth came out, and it was even bigger. Oh shit! But it just shows you how much stuff in the alphabet organizations are lies. Waco was stupidity is what Waco was. Why you think you're going to go run a tank into the side of a building and there's not going to be some kind of repercussion is beyond me. There was a thing called tear gas. There was actually there were other stuff besides that they could have used, but no, they decided to go run a tank in the side of the building. Oh no, they set the fires. The tank didn't cause the fires, but it did in the fact that it pissed the people off and it caused them to start the fire to protect themselves, which was stupid in the first place. That should have never happened that way. They could have starved them out. It wasn't a matter of, there was no need for anyone to die, at least by their hands. There was no need. A lot of these things, in the 70s and 80s and even 90s, there was no need for death. Because we're big, bad police officers, you're not going to tell us no. And that's exactly the mentality that got these people killed.
Yeah, and I think they even lied about that too, where they said that the reason why they went in so aggressively was they were more worried about all the suspects escaping through tunnels under the compound. And there weren't any of those either.
No, there weren't any of those. I think that came out of a Stargate episode they shouldn't have watched before they went to go do the raid.
And then they ended up burning like a bunch of children alive. Like that's what happened.
It was just horrible. And no matter what the FBI said, no one was happy with the outcome. And then there's been a few others. Christopher, the Oklahoma bombing was different. That had nothing to do with FBI F-ups. That was out of the blue. Well, I guess in some ways.
Well, no, it did. It did.
I was going to say,
related to Waco and Ruby Ridge. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I guess if you want to do it that way, well, no. What I meant is, John, with Waco and Ruby, the FBI knew they had no clue about this. This guy he took them out. Did you see the building? He blew the whole front of the freaking building off, and he killed kids too because there was a nursery in there. Yep. But it just showed, and it scared America because it showed what you could do with fertilizer. And which is something you can get anywhere in this country. Anybody,
any home improvement store.
Yeah,
you don't anybody could buy it.
And you know what's sad is the way they made the bombs. He got off the internet. Not him, but you can get him off the internet. It was a sad thing, and I'm surprised he didn't go out. At first, he looked like he was going to try to take even more people out with him, but then he just decided not to. But you know, when people in our country go one way, sooner or later somebody else in the country is going to go the other way, and you can't just keep pushing the people down because sooner or later they start fighting back. We're not, we're not downtrodden slaves from 500 years ago. We're not, people who have been beat down in today's era. We're Americans and we don't like being pushed around. That's what it comes down to. And after a while, we get pissed off and we do something about it, whether it's through voting or some other means. What's that, Jimmy? I don't know. The CIA and the NSA are different. One really doesn't have anything to do with internal affairs in the U.S. anyway. It's really for stuff overseas. Yeah, no, CIA is really for overseas, yes. NSA is National Security Agency. It deals with stuff inside the country.
Yeah, the only operations really the CIA has in the country are training operations in, offices and stuff.
Area 51.
And Area 51, parts of Area 51.
No, so it is parts of it. So the real thing is, people, so Area 51 is not considered part of the continental USA. Don't even ask. It's not. It's not considered. It's not owned by us. It's not even considered our Area 51, 52, 53, and 54 are not considered territory of the United States. Some kind of treaty that we hold it. At first, I thought maybe it was talking like it was some kind of Indian reservation or something. Yeah, no, it's no.
Wait, treaty with whom?
Well, it's why the president was turned down to go.
Oh yeah, because allegedly Eisenhower wanted to bring an army division in because they wouldn't let him in, right?
And he wasn't the only one. Even all the way up to Clinton. Clinton said, "I'm going down there." He said, "No, you're not, sir."
It stopped him. Yeah.
Yes, because somebody said, "Well, it's because he didn't have the clearance." No, it's not sovereign U.S. territory. You can't tell them what they can do.
You can be invited.
The CIA controls part of the base. The NSA controls part of the base. Nobody knows who else controls the other part. I've talked to some friends of mine way up, even the guy that I met in Space Command, and it's just whoever it is has a lot of power.
So
Maybe
why doesn't the president put on his big boy pants and bring in the 1st Cavalry Division to say, yes, it is U.S.
They won't obey. They won't obey.
The U.S. Army isn't allowed to operate on U.S. soil.
They won't obey. They tried.
It's not U.S. soil, though. It's not U.S. soil, apparently.
There's that argument.
Clinton said he was going to bring in one of the trooper units, one of the Green Beret units, and the CIA said, "No, you're not, sir." And it stopped right then and there. And are you really, president or not? Are you really going to argue with the CIA in your own country?
Yes. If I'm the president of the United States, no, it's worth dying over. You can have whatever scandal there is. Speaking of which, did you see this Judge Napolitano video floating around where they're talking about the Kennedy assassination? And he said he got a call from the president toward in the last days, President Trump, and he said, Trump asked him, "Is there anything you need me to do, with pardons and stuff like that?" And he's just like, "No, not with pardons, but you promised me when you were elected you were going to get to the bottom of the Kennedy assassination." And Trump says, "Yeah, I know." He's like, they showed me a briefing of what happened, and it's too horrible for me to share. That's it.
Yeah, because
I think they're claiming now it was the driver. They're saying the driver turned around and shot Kennedy in the head.
You want to know why this was handled the way it was? Because this was the CIA, this was the U.S. Mafia, and this was Cuba. This was everybody was in this. This was a deal that was done for whatever deals they were running before this. Everybody had to be involved, and there was definitely more than one shooter. There's not even any doubts about that. Because when your boy was showing the entry hole in one wound and the other, and they looked like they went like this, like one bullet went in one way, one bullet went out the other way.
Charade is LBJ, according to a new book.
May have been. But whoever it was,
he set up the parade route, and then Kennedy didn't like it, so he changed it, and to a state because he was supposed to go the route into Dealey Plaza, and President Kennedy didn't want to go that way. He wanted to go just straight to the Trade Center down that same road they were on before they turned into Dealey. But the CIA or the Secret Service said, "Yeah, we need to change that because it's not safe for you." So they changed it, and then while JFK was in the air, LBJ changed it back.
No, but it wasn't even that. Kennedy's the one that didn't want to have. He's the one who wanted the convertible. That's his fault. He could have had a bulletproof vehicle. He could have been in a bulletproof vehicle.
His team did say put the lid up. They did tell him that, but he said no.
He just so that just tells you it was his time to go. Is all that tells you. It didn't matter what was going on, but it shows you what kind of balls these people had because they turned right around and killed Bobby.
Yeah.
Didn't even blink an eye. It's boop, and it's supposedly there were a lot of big people involved because other countries knew, other people knew, and it never came out, and it still never came out. It's there was but now assuming it's nobody even knows where it's probably at now. This shit's probably buried in some archive nobody even knows how to find. Everybody who was committed to it is probably dead and gone.
Yeah, but they still know. Someone still knows.
2062, the whole thing.
Well, someone knew enough to be able to brief Trump and for him to say it was horrible, whatever it was.
Oh, because it's in the I forgot what they call it. It's in the book. So there's a book that's been being handed. It changes, and after so long, it gets locked up. But there's a book that's handed down from president to president to president to president to president, and you can get the whole thing. All presidents are allowed to go all the way back to number one president and have all the materials forward that they've dealt with, because the more you know, the more likely you're going to be successful. But most of the shit past, say 70 years ago, isn't something relevant to today's society. But
except Roswell, whatever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we figured Roswell out. Roswell wasn't that big of a deal. We got what we needed out of Roswell. We didn't get fast and light technologies, mind you, but we got the microchip. We got aircraft aluminum. We got
fiber optics.
A lot of stuff. Oh, people, you don't have to believe us, by the way. So the Roswell Gazette, or whatever it was called back in the day, right after this happened, published pictures of other things that had been retrieved from the site. One of them, I'm telling you, one looked so much like fiber optics. Even matter of fact, when the light in the place gleamed on it, you could see it looked like the tips were lit. They also had aircraft aluminum they had found, and then they had what we would consider today a Microsoft microchip. It looked just like one of our chips, a little bit smaller, but it had the same design set, the same build. It was just tinier than what we're using today. Well, I don't know about what we're using today.
Which leads you to the conclusion that the possibility maybe it's future humans.
And it could be future humans. It also leads you to the possibility that we may have not supposed to have had a computer generation. So without them, there would have been no computer generation. We'd have skipped that. I don't know what we'd be right now, because natural progression from is, I mean.
And by the way, Joe's source, there's a book you can read. It's right, Lieutenant Colonel Phil Corso, who is an intelligence officer. It's called The Day After Roswell. It's got all this
it's a good book. You can also, matter of fact, on two of the things we just talked about, you can, Jim Morris has got a great book out on Kennedy, because he's a great researcher. He also has a great book out on Roswell. It's he's passed, whoever posted it. No, he passed a while back, but he's a good friend of mine. Well, he was a good friend of mine, but he was a fantastic researcher. He was one of the most sought after researchers in the country for this kind of stuff. He just knew his things. That's all. He had a lot of connections too. He had made a lot of them over the years. What's that, Johnny? We are no, we're not taking any more breaks. We should take a station ID, but we probably won't. Why? Do you need to smoke a cigarette or something? We can't see you. And if you're naked running around the house, we don't really care. So, I mean,
I have to wash my eyes out with Clorox.
Nobody here really actually cares. As long as you're not on camera, we don't really blink what the hell you're doing. No, don't talk about food. I'm already hungry. Yeah. What's up, Casey? I see you popped in there. What you up to? It's, what, Jimmy? Look, Roswell was just one of them things. Kennedy is a secret because it does look like, because of the people that were involved, that there was multiple people involved. So, the Marcellos, which ran the biggest mob in the United States, really kind of still do. They wanted him dead. Actually, they were, from what they said, they were commissioned to kill him. And the original commission, they said, came from someone high up in the government, and then the CIA got involved, and they decided they were going to work the commission together. And the thing with Cuba was the Russians, not the Cubans themselves. Because he was damn. I mean, come on, he embarrassed Russia. How bad? With what's his name beating this thing on the table, and we're saying we're not taking you. No, you're either moving your missiles, or we're going to blow some bitches up, one or the other. He embarrassed the Russian leader, so a lot of people wanted him dead, and they all got together and killed him. unless, he just went home to another planet. Oh, no, because it was acceptable to kill people back then. Assassinations was still a way of conducting business, not just in our country, but around the world. Go back and look and see how many world leaders have been assassinated. There's been a lot.
It's
And
still
Bobby,
a way.
yeah,
It's still a way the U.S. government conducts business.
and it is. Oh, it's definitely. Oh, you mean Putin? Oh, yeah, Putin assassinating people all over the place. Putin.
Yeah, he just killed Navalny, right? His primary opponent in the current election, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to run against him because they're going to end up dead.
Not officially. The guy had like a heart attack, obviously.
No, obviously. Yeah, he just shot him with some drug or something. He just,
you know what? Speaking of shooting oneself, you see this Boeing thing?
What?
This Boeing whistleblower?
Yeah.
What the? Yeah. So this guy, he retired from Boeing, I think, in like 2017. And they're having all these issues with like planes, like parts falling off and all sorts of problems. He worked in their quality assurance division in somewhere in the South, and he was just finished giving a deposition to Boeing lawyers about all these safety violations. He goes to his car and to a car park outside his hotel, and he shoots himself. Like right after the deposition. Boeing whistleblower.
Wow.
Because he knew they were coming for him anyway after that.
No, I don't think he killed himself. Somebody obviously, clearly murdered him. Suicided him.
So, oh, well, hey, dude, thanks for that good speech. Click, boom, bang, you're gone. Well, that's the thing, people, you got to be careful. I've been threatened. I know other people have been threatened. So when you're into any of this stuff, it's best to be as public as you can. Because if you're public and you're making noise about what's going on and all of a sudden you just disappear, odds are they're going to go after somebody. If you're not, and they can just sneak up and kill you and there's no big fuss or bust, you just show up in the Sunday Times and the obituary category, nobody's going to care. So the more public you are, the safer you are. We tell that to people all the time when they come out. So once you come out, you need to stay public because people need to know who you are and where you are and what you're doing. And if anybody's threatening you in any way.
But Joe, I think after Epstein, they're just doing this stuff in the open because they know nobody can, nobody can find who did it. Nobody can. I mean, it's
because
it's
inside
disgusting.
circles like that, there's certain areas you're just not going to find it. But when stuff goes into certain parts of the public, you can't really hide it. So people what happens is the national news doesn't pick it up. The local news is pick it up. And they start playing around the country through the local newses. And it's funny how that works because somebody says, well, national news controls the locals. And no, actually they don't. I said, like our down here, they're owned by Gray Television. These people are just out to report anything they can. I mean, you go on their TV, everything across 5 states is on there. And if something happened, like in Florida, they actually got a section called the Florida Man because Florida people always effing up. And then, oh yeah, they do. Well, that one of the radio shows I listen to sometimes got another segment called the Florida Man. We're not hating on you, Florida people. Y'all's crazy. That's the problem. Oh yeah, y'all do crazy shit. Run down.
Florida man gets in fist fight with alligator. Loses.
Oh yeah, it's just insanity stuff that goes on down there. Oh, we love y'all. We come to visit. We're not hating. It's just, you're little kind of crazy. You're like the crazy uncle that drinks too much at the Christmas party. Yes. And goes and gets naked in the pool or something. Yeah. I'm just saying you're that person. Anyway, what you got, Jeannie? Actually, we're going to do polls in a few minutes because we're getting closer to the end, but who do I want to win? Not Joe Biden.
Anybody but.
That's all I can say. Who am I going to vote for? I'm an American. You're just not supposed to ask me that question. I'm not voting for anybody. I ain't going to lie. I may change my mind when it gets really close to the election, but as of right now, I'm not. I can honestly say I didn't vote for anybody in the last 2 elections, which is the first time I haven't voted in almost 20 years. Yes.
It's funny. It's funny with me. Every time I voted for somebody, they lost. The other person won.
Well, that's why I'm not allowed to watch Saints games. Everybody says if I watch them, they lose, so I don't watch them anymore.
That's why I don't wear Redskins colors on Sunday. They lose every time I wear maroon, gold, or white.
Aren't they the Capitals now, or some stupid
Commanders?
The Commanders.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which, by the way, the Indians
is the DC hockey team.
Well, which cracks me up because there's several Indian nations, not Indian people, pissed off about this.
Yes.
And why? And wait, so why did Washington get in trouble and not like the Braves or any of these other Indian names, the Indians, the Chiefs? I mean, come on, we still got the Kansas City Chiefs. Why aren't they in trouble?
Yeah, Florida Seminoles. Oh, I think one of the. I think was it the Chiefs? I forget which. One of them changed to the Warriors or something like that. It's a baseball team, Cleveland.
Yeah, the Cleveland command something. But no, Florida State. In fact, when the Redskins were changing their names, they were all jumping on Florida State to change from the Seminoles to another thing, and all of a sudden, the Native Americans, the big chiefs, said no, keep your name.
Seminoles though is like a specific tribe.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
I could see like Redskins might be offensive, right?
Okay.
The same thing with Cincinnati Reds.
Okay, but it's okay. So here's the real history behind the name and logo, which was designed by Coach Allen, and I don't remember the chief's name, but there was a chief, one of the Maryland tribes that he consulted with. The chief of this Indian tribe drew the Indian head logo, drew the spearhead logo, and drew the font that became Washington and Redskins. And he approved that and the color scheme, maroon, gold, and white, with Coach George Allen. And that in 72, 71, 73, something like that. And that became the canon for the team. And they had started off in Boston in 1931 or 32 as the Boston Redskins. The head coach was American Indian. The quarterback is American Indian. And their receiving staff were American Indians. And there are other Americans mixed throughout the team. So it's their heritage. The first head coach was American Indian.
Jay,
would it take that away?
the blue-haired Karen, white Karen, who's suburban mom, her understanding of history only goes back 10 years. So you're gonna have to
and that word also offends her. I mean, if it doesn't offend the tribes that were playing the game, why would it offend a blue-haired white nanny?
Because it does. God damn it!
It does. I know it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I still call them the Redskins. I have a wall upstairs in my man cave that's painted diagonal stripes of gold, white, Washington Redskins, and then a diagonal stripe of maroon. I'll have to get you guys a picture and send it to you. It's gorgeous.
How about that little boy out in Kansas City? A little kid, had his face painted red and black, and oh my God, it was like they were going to crucify him and his family because he.
If you live in Washington State or Oregon or California, you have to be very careful with stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Now, so what's so funny about it? So people, this is what's so weird about all three of these states. So if you live from the middle of the state east, you're not going to probably experience any of that. Well, matter of fact, in Washington, that's mostly Indian reservations anyway. But most of the crazies in all of these states live on the coast. Places like Seattle or Portland or LA or San Diego or San Francisco or Sacramento, places like that. That's where they live. The rest of the states are usually pretty cool.
Yeah, and
they're
Seattle,
literally shaking people. They're literally shaking.
Yes, they are. They're very crazy there.
Has one of the highest rates of suicide among cities in the U.S. And oddly enough, they're on the same parallel as London. And London also has a high rate of suicides in its city.
Rainey.
Saying which city was that?
London, England.
No. The U.S.
Oh, Seattle and London, England.
That's because it rains all the time. Like, if you live up there,
it rains all the time down here. I mean, we had like 70-some inches a year. It's so funny every time I go. Well, this year,
like hundreds of inches a year.
Actually, Seattle is special. It's like gray or raining all the time.
Yeah, same with London. It's gray or raining.
Yeah. Same way in Pittsburgh. Sun never shines, and that's the truth.
Well, for us, we have 7 to 9 months a year of no sunshine. It's just when we have sunshine, it is hot as bleep, And,
Yes.
But for our summers, it's more like the entire summer is just a sauna. You're just living in a sauna. So when you leave your house and walk to your car better be on, or else you're going to be sweating like a dog. Doesn't matter who you are. And if you're not from here, it's going to dehydrate you. It's going to make you sick, especially because our temperatures like to go up and down drastically sometimes by 40 or 50 degrees. It's a strange place to live, but it does. But we used to get between 60 and 70 inches. But the last 2 years, I think we've been on a 20-inch deficit. But you know what happens? We start getting on deficits. We start getting hurricanes. And then all of a sudden, one hurricane, we can get 30 inches of rain. Sometimes more than that. It's insane. But you do get a lot of cloudy days. I mean, you get a lot of cloud because it's so humid down here. It doesn't really matter. When you live on a coast, you're just going to tend to get a lot of cloudy days. It's just, you live on a coast and clouds get made on the coast. It's fun though. What's that?
Hey, Joe. By the way, it looks like we lost our Roku stream.
Oh, did we? I wonder what happened.
Yeah, it's looking like we're having trouble streaming to your destination. Is it possible the stream was ended and deleted?
Yeah, Roku ended.
Well, that's just frippin' weird, is what that is. Okay, now we're live on Roku again. Okay, sorry if you were on the Roku, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why it tossed y'all for a second. But it does say you're live back again, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Let's double check. Yeah, you're back live again. So I apologize for anything. So we'll have to check what was going on.
Still says not live on my screen, but I don't know. It
says live on mine.
My screen either.
Yeah, well, I guess because when I click it right now, it says you're live in big green, beautiful letters. So we're going to keep it at that. It's yeah, that's what it's saying. It's saying it's live. I can't check it from where I'm at right now, though. But I just reboot. Oh nope, I think it went back.
Yeah, it's not changing on my screen here at all.
It's going back and forth. I'm sorry, guys. If you're trying to listen to this via Roku, which you probably can't hear us at the moment, I would quit worrying about it.
Maybe it's because we were talking about Indians.
I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't think it's saying the stream was actually dropped. There was some kind of interference. The RTMP server URL stream key is incorrect. Oh, it changed the key. Oh, that's what happened. Well, I'll have to go see why I changed the key. Well, when I get them back, because that's something I'll have to actually go do. We have stream keys, people, and I guess for some reason Roku decided to change their stream key. I'm not sure.
Or a certificate went bad or something.
Yeah, I can't do it from this computer anyway. So sorry if y'all not listening to us anymore there, but it's just one of those things. So let's go. Well, I'll keep an eye on it, but if it's a stream key, it's not coming back. It's so anyway, I'm just being honest to whoever just sent me that. Let's see. Let's go to 538. This is another polling company. Actually, when our polls go up, well, they probably won't go up until I get back from LA in April, or in May. But after that, they'll stay up until the election. Well, right now, putting them up is kind of a waste of time.
All right. Oh, Roku's back.
Yeah. Okay. It's back. Okay.
Yep, it's back.
Do voters want Republicans or Democrats in Congress? What do y'all think?
Whoever's out for my best interest. I don't care if they're a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian or a Green Party.
So
if they're out for my interest, get them in there.
So currently, it's 43.9% for Republicans and 43.8% for Democrats.
That's a bull hunkery poll.
Oh, bull hunkery. That's a good name.
That's nothing but bull hunkery right there.
That is kind of funny. That's
the word of the day, Jay.
So here we go. Let's see. The Economist. Biden has taken a lead in the Economist, 43-42. He wasn't the other day. Yahoo News has Democrats 45-43. Oh crap, it's looking bad. One message: Senate Opportunity Fund, Democrats 43. Ooh, Republicans 46. Emerson College, Democrats 43, Republicans 45. Ooh. The Economist again, Democrats 41, Republicans 43. I'm just.
Why are they always so close? There's got to be. I mean, they can't be that damn close.
Well, they're not that close because they're not including what's his name.
Yeah. So I mean, they're already off by 15 What is it? 12 to 18% already?
Yeah. So, but let's see, where are we at? Wall Street Journal. Now, let's you have to take the Wall Street Journal with a grain of salt, because what is Wall Street Journal? It is very, very liberal, isn't it? I mean, you can't get much more liberal than the Wall Street Journal. Democrats 42, Republicans 46.
Wow.
Ooh, somebody got bitch slapped there. The Economist again. Democrats 42, Republicans 45. GS Stagery Group, third way. Oh, Democrats 45, Republicans 41. Let's see. The Economist goes back and forth. Oh, this goes back a couple of days, and so it doesn't really matter. Here's the Winston Group. One Message. The McCullen Associates and so on. They all have Trump ahead by at least 4 points. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. So let's just do a quick count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Trump is ahead in 17 polls. Biden is ahead in 9. I guess I can kind of live with that, even though some of these polls I just got to look at and say, who comes up with this stuff? Oh, Reuters. Oh, here we go. We know who they're going to pick. Reuters says, dun, 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 that Biden will easily win re-election. Trump stands no chance of re-election. Trump and Biden without any other options. Biden leads 50% to 48% amongst registered voters, with a 2% refusing to answer the question.
What drugs is that guy on, and will he share them?
So that means that because the 2% didn't answer the question, are voting for Trump. So that's why they wouldn't answer the question, because they were embarrassed. So that means it's a 50-50 heat. Obviously, see, this is the whole reason, ladies and gentlemen, that the American polling company got invented all those years ago. We use this to beat up shit like this, because first off, we won't even pull a poll till it's at least 10,000 people, and sometimes we'll let the polls run up to 100,000. So it's not like these little 3,000 polls or 2,000 people polls. These are much more, and there's much more information involved in them. So what I'll do is I'll use them to beat up on NBC and ABC. I'll send them the polls and say, well, wait, how come this poll with this many more people is so much different than your poll? And then we'll make that whole conversation public. So then they have to acknowledge the poll. Oh, yeah, people. Yeah, I played dirty. What the hell are you talking about? They do. Why can't I? Rear Clear Politics. Let's see who they say is winning. Okay. Well, the whole yeah, I know. So you think the whole thing is Democrats, right? You think is lefty? Well, it is lefty that owns it. But let's see. So we'll start out. Economist versus Gov. Trump is up, winning by 1.7 points. Daily Coas Savings. Trump is up by 2 points. Reuters. Biden is up by 1. Reuters. Yahoo News. Biden is up by 2. Yeah, that's all. And let's see. Forbes. Trump's up by 2. Wait. Something's wrong about this. Okay. Oh, no. Okay. I got to start over. Sorry, guys. The average for the entire poll group on this first set is Trump is winning by 1.7 points out of the 10 polls we're going to go through. So Trump is up by 2 in the first poll, and then for Stevens and Reuters, Trump's 1 and 2 ahead. Yahoo News, Trump's 2. Forbes, Trump's 4. Morning Consultant, Trump's 1. Rasmussen, Trump's 8. Jesus. CBS News, Trump is 4. Emerson, Biden is 2. TIPP, Biden is 1. New York Times, Trump is 4. Fox News, Trump is 4. Wall Street Journal, Trump is 2. Holy cannoli, he is whooping his ass. Oh, and finally, this is going to make somebody who talks to me happy. General election, Trump versus Biden versus Kennedy versus West. So the other, West and Stein, which one is what? One's a libertarian, one's an independent. Or is Kennedy the independent? Anyway, USA Today, Suffix. Trump is up by 2. Forbes, Harris. Trump is up by 6. Emerson, Trump is up by 1. Fox News, Trump is up by 3. Harvard, Trump is up by 8. Quinnipiac, Biden's up by 1. Masquerade, Trump is up by 3. His overall on that is 2.7 ahead of Biden.
And what is Quinnipiac? Is that like one of the northern states?
Quinnipiac, I forgot what Quinnipiac was.
I mean, it almost sounds like a Canadian poll.
It might be, as far as I know. But it's been around. It's been a standard polling for a long time. Fox News, Trump is averaging 5 points. Harvard, Trump is averaging 2 points. CBS News, Trump is averaging 3. Rasputin, Trump is averaging. Oh, this is DeSantis. Sorry, I lied. I apologize. They're still polling out to see what these guys, in case something happens to Trump. I mean, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, when you look at these polls, it looks like, well, except for them 2 Reuters polls that, of course, is what makes the difference. I'm feeling that it's pretty much on Trump's side. Now, here we go. U.S. election 2024, Trump versus Biden. Who's leading in the polls? They're tied at 45. See, this is the problem. The nation can't. I mean, this is what gets all these different people in trouble. There's no way that Biden's tied with Trump on anything right now, except for a completely liberal poll. But if you go anywhere where there's a mixed population, he's going to lose. What do you mean? What I mean by mixed population? I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about red versus blue.
Do they say where they're collecting these polls? Like, do they give a city? Do they give a location? That probably don't.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes there are general polls on their websites. You just go to the website and take it. Sometimes they go to like malls, like I forgot which company. They do their poll out of the Boston Mall. And of course, you know what that's going to lean. It's going to lean blue no matter what. Jeremy, how many Bostonians you think are going to vote red? You could probably ask and find out. Alexa, how many Democrats live in Boston?
It is difficult to answer this question as it depends on how Democrats are defined. If it's registered Democrats, then the answer is 40% of registered voters. If it's something else, then it's not
Alexa,
clear.
I cancel. Alexa, how many are registered Republicans in Boston?
I don't know the number of registered Republicans of Boston. As of August 2020, there were about 460,000 registered Republicans in Massachusetts, making up about 10% of the registered voters.
There you go, guys.
What?
Alexa, stop. Stop.
Alexa, try Worcester or Dorchester.
Here's the other 30%.
Well, there's something else, obviously, you know.
What if I'm driving in my car?
Yes. What do you mean, Jack? We've used Alexa in shows before. Oh, yes, Alexa's good.
Yeah,
It's right there.
Google Assistant. I wonder what Google will say. What should we find out?
Not for that one. You could ask for a different one.
Ask Alexa who's going to win the 2024 election.
She wouldn't tell me earlier when I asked. She's like, no.
Yeah, they're generic on those. Like when the Super Bowl was coming up, I'd ask my Google, hey, who's going to win the Super Bowl? And then she would go, I like the guys with the helmets.
She's being a bitch, man. What do you expect? Oh, wait, what's this poll? Oh, CNN. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, y'all
Here we go.
This poll. CNN poll. Joe Biden, 52%. Donald Trump, 42%. Okay, who sent me this
It's a
poll?
communist news network.
No. Who sent me this
Communist
bullshit
News
poll?
Network.
Wait. What do we got? No. This is bullshit. Hold on. 2020. Who sent me this poll? Yo, you better read before you send me polls, people. 2020. Last I checked, this is 2024.
That sounds like a confirmation bias from a Biden voter.
Yes, that's what it sounds like to me as well. Oh no. So, there's you can go to, where is it? On 270, you can go and see all of the electoral college maps for the last, look at 1948. Do you know there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 red states in 1948?
Wow.
That was the end of the war, right?
Post-war era.
So wait a minute. So in 1944, all the southern states were blue, and all the whole western side of the country was red.
Wow. California too?
Yeah, California too. The only one that was blue was Nevada.
What
And
happened
in
to
1928, every part of the country was blue except for the center. These maps are great, man. I gotta save this. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna have to put this on a show somewhere.
Yeah, those JPEGs too. Get saved that stuff. That's good overlay.
It's we'll put it on the favorite somewhere and done. But it's just so crazy to look because it goes way back. So it goes as far back as 1789 when there was just those few, and they're green for some reason. I don't know what green means. Actually, Jack. So I will pull up the. Oh, it ain't gonna let me do that. Hold on a sec. No, it ain't gonna let me do that either. Shit. Let me try something else really quick. So anyway, welcome to Edge. I don't care. So this is the 2024 electoral map. Currently, right now, the states that will make a difference are Nevada. Yes, Nevada. Arizona, Georgia, Virginia, Illinois, Michigan, not Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. Those will be the swing states. So out of those swing states, I know Trump is winning in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and I think Wisconsin. Only one of the states he wasn't winning in. So technically, according to that, they have already won this election. So without
if we elect today or tomorrow, but 8 months.
So if you leave those states we just talked about out, he's at 235. The Democrats are at 226. So if you put those states in, well, Georgia looks like it's going no matter what. Also, it looks like Virginia's going this year. They got it blue here, but it looks like it might go red. Pennsylvania is leaning red, but we have to see. A bunch of traitors up there.
Kind of pinkish right now.
Yeah. So no, it's great to watch this map. In 1812, you're looking at it. It's just crazy to see it grow. And then you see big hole in the country, and then just California out west. There's nothing else out there. And it was all blue, and then all of a sudden it was all red. I don't know what to think. This country's flip-flopped many, many times. I don't know what gold means, people. I can't find the key to the map. But here in 2020, the majority of the country is red. It's just this, since we use the Electoral College, if we went by states, the Democrats would never win another election. If each state was just 1 point, they would never win another election. They would have not have won an election since. Let's go back and look. They'd have to go all the way back to 1976 for that. And before that, they would have never won an election. So in 1972, there were only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue states. In 68, there was only 1 blue state. In 64, there was only 4.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy. But in 48, there's all of them. It's insane. People, this is a great map. Y'all got to check this out. This is on 270 to win. Oh, yeah. It's insane to see all those maps. It's cool.
Well, I mean, it was insane watching the live maps, the live Google maps when we did the senatorial thing a year or so ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching it by the state level, and then you can zoom in on the state, and it would give you the color of each county. And like almost every state we looked at, all the counties in the center of the states away from the big cities all went red. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 different little cities all went blue and overpowered the bulk of the state. And it was boggling to the mind to see, these changes.
It is. What do you mean, Jimmy? Oh, no. For the last election, Pennsylvania is the state that put Joe Biden over the top.
Yeah.
And what's so funny about that is at midnight, we were working the election. 98% of the vote was in, and Trump was at least a few 100,000 ahead. We got up the next morning.
At that point.
Yeah. We got up the next morning, and he had lost the state. He had lost 3 states that he was way ahead in. And I wouldn't have minded if it wouldn't have been such a small percentage left. But it doesn't mean that 2% of a big state with 20 million people, and there's a lot of people still. So, but still, man, it was. And then there was all kind of rumors of all kind of other funky monkey stuff. What can you do? Why blame Trump? I've said this from day one. He's the one ran around for a year saying the election was fixed. If he knew that, he should have took preparations for it. I mean,
it was either on him or his campaign manager who told him not to,
I blame him because he's in control of his own fate.
It probably is partly his fault for not making that decision. But there are lots of polls that have the undecided factor. The undecided factor, people who haven't made up their mind yet. And there are people who are fervent. They look at both sides really, really good. They are intent on figuring out which is the best one. And they don't make up their mind until they walk into the polling booth. Some people.
Some
So
people
if you don't have a representative on the ground handing out flyers, you may lose a vote.
So let's see. We were talking about the swing states a few minutes ago. So Michigan was one of them, and they are actually red. So right now, nationally, Trump is 44, Biden is 41, with 16% undecided, which are probably Kennedy's votes. Florida is an easy one. Ohio's an easy one. So let's go down. Nevada, Trump had lost Nevada last time around. He's 46-41. Pennsylvania, it's 48-44 Trump. Arizona, 48-44 Trump. Georgia, 50-44 Trump. These are all swing states. North Carolina, he's winning. Alaska is winning. Indiana's winning. Minnesota, he's not getting Minnesota. Bunch of traitors. You rebel, you Yankee bastards. I'm sorry. Montana, he's killing them in Montana. He's got 54% in Montana. Biden's got 32.
Wow,
Iowa,
that
37-49.
seems a little more realistic.
Iowa, 49-37 Trump. California, 56 for that damn Biden, 34% for Trump. Texas, 45-39 Trump. Maine District 1, 45-25 Trump. Maine District 2, 39-1, 31 for Biden. Maine District whatever, 38-32 for Trump. Wisconsin, which is another swing state, 46-42 Trump. New York, 38-48 Trump. 38-48 Biden. South Carolina is Trump by 4. Washington, 33-54. Maryland, 55-32. These are both Bidens, by the way. Missouri is almost all Trump. Utah is a big chunk Trump. Massachusetts is 36-45 Biden. Colorado, 49.
Oh, no. I got to go there next month for my nephew's wedding. Oh.
See, I have an issue with Colorado 49-41. I just don't believe there's that many Democrats in Colorado. And if y'all are, y'all suck. I'll never go back to your state again. South Dakota 55-25 Trump. Nebraska 54-32 Trump. North Dakota District 1 53-54 Trump. Nebraska District 2 45-44 Trump. Tennessee 63-31 Trump. Virginia is saying 49-43 Biden. New Hampshire 48-52 Biden. Nebraska District 3 64-30 Trump. Wyoming 70-15 Trump. Arkansas 60-24 Trump. Illinois 43-34 Trump. Biden. North Dakota 54-17 Trump. Oklahoma 56-27 Trump. Idaho 55-26 Trump. 47-31 Kansas. West Virginia 50-23 Trump. Kentucky 55-26 Trump. New Mexico, you fucking New Mexico. How can a western state like New Mexico be blue? What is wrong with you?
And they're right on the border too.
What is wrong with you people? But anyway, Trump clearly has all the swing states and by a good number. So unless he, and now it looks like he's got 2 of these court cases. It looks like he's only going to have to deal with this New York shit going into the election. If that's the case, he's going to walk through this. It's going to be just too overwhelming for them. And you know what? I got a real weird thing the other day. I got the sense that the Democrats may not want to cheat on this. I'm thinking there's a lot of people watching this time. And with these big numbers where Trump's ahead, big numbers in swing states, if for some reason Trump was to lose, it might even be a lot harder to swallow this time, especially like if they win the House and gain seats in the Senate. It'd be really, really hard to swallow this. So I'm thinking, as long as you don't get convicted of a crime, because the racketeering, you can't be president with a racketeering felony charge. You're going to jail for 20 years, man. And how you put Trump in jail for 20 years beyond me. He's going to have Secret Service in the jail. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Or be sequestered in the jail by himself. No public, general population kind of stuff.
And is the population really going to put up with that? Really? How are you going to convince 50% of the country, and actually probably more than that if you try to imprison a president, that it's okay to do? I don't even think Democrats would be okay with this. I think they'd be like, what you going to do? What? Oh, because look at the governor of Louisiana. He got caught his hands all up in the cookie jar. After 4 terms, they finally caught him, right? So he went to jail. He went to the rich people jail, which is not the same as the poor people jail.
Club fed.
He had weekly conjugal visits by his gorgeous wife. He had catered meals, catered exercise, big screen television. I mean, he was still in jail. He couldn't leave. But I mean, Jesus, man, that's not the kind of jail you and I are going to. You can bet your ass on that. So, and that's that's how it'd be for Trump. But I don't. They think there was a insurrection last time. You trying President Trump? There may be a real insurrection. No, Jimmy, I'm not going to be part of it now. I don't believe in insurrections.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they convict him before the election. I would not be surprised if there are several outbreaks of violence throughout the country.
There will be.
Yeah.
But I think that's why the judges have been putting it off. So this is what the judges figure. We'll put it off. If he wins, then it's going to get put off till after the election. By then, statute of limitations will be gone. There's nothing he can do. Or he'll pardon himself. Either way, they're not going anywhere. If he loses, on the other hand, then all the judges will say, okay, they'll side with whoever's won and just let him prosecute Trump. Then that'll be the end of that. He may never go to jail because most judges won't put him in jail, but he'll never be able to run for any political office again. And that's all they're really trying to do. But it does look like because, well, like he was trying to say how this woman should recuse herself. Well, no. The only way she should recuse, and this is what I would say. If I was her and somebody said that, I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll do this. I will recuse myself when the judge and the district attorney of New York recuses itself, when the district attorney and the judge in Georgia recuses itself, when the one in Florida does and the one in D.C. does, I will recuse myself. And then, but they're not going to do it, so it's not going to happen. Well, hello, Christine Dobbs. Thanks for a friend's request. Okay, well, nice to meet you. What's that, Jerry? I don't know. It's if you go by the polls, and in all fairness, guys, in 2020's polls, Biden was winning. Every poll you've seen, Biden was winning. So it wasn't that big. The only thing that bothered me is he was winning, but the night of the election, it seemed like he wasn't. But
he was struggling. I mean, the Trump campaign took a huge early lead, and they kept it for most of the night. And when we closed the show at midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever, you went to bed saying that Biden was going to win, and I said no. There's no way. He's got 100,000 whatever, and we woke up the next day. What happened? Yeah. You were right.
Oh, I knew he was going to win. It just sucked that I had to call. There was trends throughout the night that suggested that somehow or another it might pop up towards the end. And some of the places that we were still waiting on to come in, you knew, big cities like Philadelphia. Come on, there's not many Reds in Philadelphia. There were certain places in Pennsylvania and other states that, yes, Trump was winning. It was winning by a big hand, but that was all small counties coming in. We still had to count big cities. And
yeah, it just 6 big cities that turned the tide from the state going to Trump.
Yes, and I was hoping there would be enough in the big cities to at least stem the tide, but it wasn't. But this time there will be. So, well, Jimmy, for 2 reasons. One, a lot of people who voted for Trump are not going to vote at all this time. They're just not going to vote. And a lot of people who voted, you will see people who voted for him vote for Trump. And a lot of people who didn't vote in the last election and had to deal with this economy will get out and vote for Trump. Yes. Well, we can see, but I've been pretty right on when I picked Obama to win for 2 terms, and I picked in the beginning for him to win to 2 terms. Everybody's like, Joe, you're crazy. He's not going to win. He's a dumbass. And I said, we'll see. And then they said, oh, we've got what's his name, the war hero. Nobody can beat him. I said, the guy who got captured. I said, Americans are funny. War heroes are not people who go to prisoner of war camps, my friend. They're prisoner of war heroes, but they're not heroes. They're not the guys out there saving everybody's asses. I said, when Americans when they looked at him, yeah, he's a cool guy. He did make it through prisoner of war and blah, 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 blah. But do you want the guy who won, or you want the guy who was in the war camp? Let's be honest. Do you want the pilot who made it through and bombed everybody into the Stone Age, or do you want the one that got shot out the sky and got stuck in prisoner of war camp? I'm just asking what people would choose, and I can tell you what they're going to choose automatically. But it was worse than that for McCain because, one, he picked sexy girl, which was still better than potato guy. Let's be honest. I mean, Quayle was an idiot. But he picked sexy girl in the red, white, and blue bikini, which was fine. I'm like, okay, well, never thought of having a a vice president in a bikini, but still, we can go that way. And then all of a sudden, and he was winning. I mean, he was actually winning. And then I seen him one day. Actually, Linda pointed this out to me. I seen him one day, and he was all hunched over, and he wasn't wearing his stuff anymore. He had some old flight jacket on or something. Or he just looked like he's about to kick over and die. And I would bet you money that was a setup because he was rocking and rolling, and then boom. Well, you're talking about. Oh no, you're talking about when what's his name was running, the Mormon guy. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now, but he was he's the Mormon guy. You know what cost him that election? Nothing he did. Hurricane Sandy cost him that election. Hurricane Sandy and Governor Krispy Kreme cost him that election. When Krispy Kreme got up with his fat ass self and hugged up with Obama, you saved me, Mr. Obama. Oh my God, you saved me. You saved my Krispy Kremes from melting in the water. And guess what? He won the presidency. He was 5 points behind your boy, almost 6 points behind. And because of that storm and fat boy Krispy Kreme, because they still had a week before the election. At 6 points behind a week before election, you're generally not going to win. And because Obama sucked as a president, let's be honest about it. And then, he got Krispy Kreme. Krispy Kreme was a Republican. He got up there and hugged him up, said how great a president he was, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know why I can't even think of the guy's name. I disliked him so much. I think he got out of politics now, but he was in until just recently. I can't think of his name. But no, he was a Mormon. And I actually brought the case up. He's like a Jew. Jews cannot separate church and state. Neither can Mormons. So in the Jewish religion, you have to be off Saturday. You have to be. If you're truly practicing the religion, you have to be. Remember Lieberman, he was going to run, and then they brought it up. How are you going to do your holidays based on this? Because they have to be whatever strict on this. God don't care. When you're the president of the United States, you can't be worried about God. You got to worry about us. And so it was no way to separate church and state. So, and Mormons are pretty much the same way. There's no real way to separate their church and state because their religion is their guidance, their moral compass, like most religions. So, but it is required by the Constitution that you separate church and state. You cannot bring your religious into your beliefs, which, unfortunately, I would say several presidents did. I think several presidents let their religion get in their way. Kennedy was a new breed. Kennedy wasn't dragging his religion in. Kennedy wanted to be cool. Kennedy wanted to be seen as a cool president.
Cool, everyday man who snuck girls into the White House underneath his wife's nose and had affairs with them.
Yes. The man who got his crew off his PT boat. He was actually a hero.
Where he got the Purple Heart there. Did he not injure his back seriously during that mission?
Yeah. Well, he actually got several awards for that. I think he got the Bronze Star, the Silver
Star, Purple Heart.
Yeah, he got a couple. Yeah, because
he probably got a Silver Star too for getting all those guys out of there.
Yeah, he was an interesting character, Jimmy. So most of the polls we looked at tonight, which are some are left leaning, some are right leaning, but even the left leaning polls right now, like NBC, CBN, and CBS, have Trump winning. Let me tell you what, the guy who runs CNN, MSNBC, when he has to put anything up, Trump's doing anything good, his ass quenches so tight he's lucky his head don't explode. I'm serious, man. This guy, he is such a devout Democrat. He's a progressive anyway, but he hates everybody but progressive. He don't even like his own Democrats. Progressive is the only way to be. Yes.
So we need to grab that guy and have him sit on a couple 100 tons of charcoal, get some diamonds out of him.
Oh no, no, Christopher. That's not the guy running Disney right now. That was the woman running the woman that he replaced is the one you're thinking about. The one that was going to make half of everybody in Disney World gay or transvestites. Yeah, that was her. Her son, one son was, I think, was a transvestite. I think the other son was just gay. And so she figured that she'd bring all of that to Disney. And stupid Disney's board was going for it. And then all of a sudden there started being backlashes. And people said, well, I'm not coming to Disney if everybody at Disney's gay. Screw that. I don't know what Disney was thinking. unfortunately for gay people, there's still a little condensation about AIDS. Even though you can't catch AIDS, but anyway, but having sex, it's unfortunately America's still not that educated yet. I was talking to somebody like just a couple of weeks ago about it, and they were telling me how you could catch AIDS. I'm like, wait, what? He said, well, if somebody cuts themselves, I said, nah, if it gets on the outside of your skin, they can still cut yourself, just go wash it off. Now, if you go sucking your blood out of their hand, that might be different. No, really, AIDS is not that easy of a thing to catch. It's like
it's
coral
blood
snake.
to blood transfer. It's not saliva to saliva, and it's not sexual fluid transfer where you get it's where there's blood involved, and
yeah. Well, so it's funny. Well, no, you can chat. I mean, sperm can transfer it, but what's funny is AIDS will die on contact with air, which is interesting. So when your blood,
I actually know a researcher who was in the AIDS facilities, and she said that it would actually exist on a sterilized table for up to a week without a food medium.
Yeah, well, that might be true. You never know what the hell what it is. So I've never argued with any of them because I never planned on getting it. But what do you mean, Reese? Well, anybody could have got it back in the day. Anybody could get it today. So, and this brings us to a whole nother. Before we go, before we go, this brings you from a whole nother topic. So there is a pill you can do if you have AIDS, and it makes it to where you can't transmit the disease, but it's not a cure. You have to take the pill. It's not a cure. So this takes us to a topic in the fact that, reason you don't see cancer cures a lot of times because they're cures. And Pfizer don't want you cured. They can't keep making money off your cure. But if they're giving you just like chemo treatment, they got to give you all these other treatments and all these other pills.
They're like legal drug dealers. The first batch is free. And once you're hooked, you come back, it's $10 for the next bag, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Jamie, Pfizer and Moderna has learned that chemo is not the best thing. They really are trying to get rid of chemo because chemo ends up killing you if you have to take it for too long.
Destroys more good cells than it does the bad cells.
So that's not really good for business. You might make a lot of money on those first chemo shots, but that same patient, if you keep that same patient alive another 20, 25 years and keep them on all these different pills, then yeah, I mean, you've made far more money. Yeah, well, I think we should be curing everything. Look, we know there's lots of different cures out there for cancer. We hear about them all the time. They just never seem to make the American market. They make other markets. That's why.
But there was also a paradigm shift. If you look back in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 20s, 30s, when they had an aggressive virus, polio, they went hardcore after it. We still have, examples of some of those, old things we killed, the poxes and the mumps and whatnots. We still keep those diseases at Fort Detrick, which is not far from me where I am. But they went hardcore to stop those early childhood diseases. And some of them are completely wiped out. Polio was wiped out, except for the examples we keep on hand for study.
So did y'all know that?
Why are they going hardcore after these things? Then that's the reason. They're making more money, stringing all of us along until we die of our conditions, rather than saying, here's a pill, the next day you're cured.
Yeah, they don't want to cure you. So, what's funny about there
$1 million.
There are 4 childhood diseases that have been wiped out that if they were to get into the population today would kill everyone under the age of 36 years old because none of them have been vaccinated for any of them. So whereas all of us have been vaccinated for all of this stuff, well, actually, Jimmy, I think if you're over 36 or 38, you've been vaccinated for all of it, including
under a certain age, you'd have.
But anybody under the age of like 36 has not been invasive for smallpox and other things like that will kill you freaking deadly. No, because they were wiped out. There was no reason to keep giving people. See, I even got to give the government credit for that. They wiped it out and then they stopped giving you the vaccination. But today, you need another vaccine. Oh no, you need another.
You need another.
Jesus, man, you need 5. You need 5 a year. I'm like, what? We need what?
Yeah. Meanwhile, some people who are getting this vaccine are getting prions, which cause Creutzfeldt-Jakob and i.e. Med-Cal.
We know. I know. Probably there's a movement right now. I know about 24 people who have had the shots that got cancer. Everybody I know who got it was female. Started losing hair. It's a mess. And yet, because it was approved by the FDA, you can't sue. Well, you can sue, but you can sue for very, very limited amounts. So, ladies and gentlemen, if Pfizer, say like when they came up with the COVID vaccine, if you were to launch a major suit and could prove it before it was certified, then they would have had to pay out millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. But once the FDA certifies it, Nope. You're limited to what you could. When
You'd
I
have to
learned
get
that,
a really crafty lawyer though, because
there's no
push it
crafty
through.
lawyers.
And
No.
but they also pushed the approval for the first COVID vaccinations. They pushed it through without doing all the normal protocols. It normally takes 2 to 5 years to get one out, and they did it in what, 6 months, 8 months?
I think the FDA took about over a year to actually certify.
Still, though, they have a protocol where they have they do
but it
things
takes
and
the
they get those trials
responsibility
2 to 5 years after that, and they didn't do those 2 to 5 year trials.
But it takes the responsibility away from the drug companies. They're no longer responsible. It goes on to the FDA, and suing the FDA is like suing your damn dog. Getting money out of them is going to take major effort, major time. Even though it's federal, they will pay, but still.
Yeah, I mean, you'd need a huge bank. You need Donald Trump's money to do that.
Well, you'd have to go get some lawyers like the ones who sued the cigarette companies and all.
Yeah.
We all got screwed on that one. If you were a smoker, you got screwed so royally. Especially if you're a smoker over the age of 40, you got screwed royally. They got $100 and something billion. You got nothing. Yeah, they gave you nothing. What's worse than that, they gave you nothing, kept you addicted to the cigarettes, and took them from 69 cents a pack to, in some places, $12 a pack now.
They're popping $11, $12.
And gave you this in return. Yeah, what can I say? No, we're getting ready to get out of here, but in the near future, you mean abortion shows? Those are always tough. Yeah, they're always tough. Well, because when you just talk about abortion in context of abortion, it's not that tough. When people start bringing in numbers, it really changes attitudes. So, where a lot of people will be, okay, well, everybody should have this right and that right and this right. And then when you come up and say, well, 52 million dead in the United States, 160,000 a year, that's since 1970. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I mean, any way you look at that, that's a lot of people. And then where's the men's rights in all of this? There's zero. That's a lot of people. Think about this on a worldwide. Think about how many abortions are performed worldwide. You might just kill the woman who invented.
Here's a number to think about. Think about all the teenage girls who are taken to an abortion by their guardian or parent to have the abortion without the consent of the biological father.
Yeah, well, that happens all the time. But I will say this about the United States now: for teenagers, abortion rate is way low now. It's going down a lot. Well, teenage pregnancies have gone down a lot. So they're educating themselves on the matter anyway. So that's a good thing. I mean, in that case, but the amount of abortions performed in women in their 20s is off the chart. It's almost like it's birth control. So that's where it gets trouble. People, you get all these numbers, you get all these figures. Everybody's got an opinion on it. And then they want to start the arguments, my body, blah, 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 blah. I don't care whose body it is. The baby should have rights. The father should have rights. I don't give a shit what you did to your body. You should not have the right to just, do it without some other. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying that more than you should be involved in it. That's just a personal opinion because I feel like, let's say Jay got five of them coming up, and I'm not having these kids. I'm going to abort them. And he's like, no, I want to take him and raise him. I'll pay for everything. Then I don't think they should be aborted. I think that's after that point, I think it's murder. Once somebody says
they're going to have a basketball team.
That's right. And or male or female basketball team. You never know. It could be 5 girls that just commit suicide after that. But, I'm just, no, actually. And you know what? This is a true statement. In the old days, girls were way more expensive than boys. Not anymore. Oh, no, not anymore. Boys can be sometimes way more expensive than girls. Well, you got to get
especially medically. If you're athletic, you're going to have broken bones and muscle and back sprains and whatnot. So yeah, medically and probably monetary, clothes wise, equipment wise, boys are more expensive.
Yeah, shit. Boys' clothes used to be girls' clothes cost more. No, boys cost, and guys want to look good now. And they want. What your son wants to do? What he wants to get his body shaved. How old is he? 17. Well, I don't know. That's his business.
He wants to get his body shaved.
Yeah, he wants to get his arms and legs not shaved. He said he looks better when he's smooth.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean that's an appearance thing. I was a lifeguard for many years, and I was on the swim team. But most of the kids, after I got out of the swim team, most of the new kids coming in would shave the hair off their arm because they felt it shaved seconds.
Oh, swimmers do. No, swimmers shave their legs and their.
I know, but
they say it causes drag. Yeah, like 1 millisecond or something.
Minimal, no drag. I mean, come on.
But that millisecond might be the one that costs you to win, man. I don't.
Yeah, if you got Swiss timing, but you're in a back.
You shave whatever you want to shave. I don't care. That's your business. Shave away. Yeah, shave your chest hair, shave your butt hair, shave everything. Just be smooth like a baby's ass.
FYI, Captain Kirk shaved his chest for every scene when he was had his shirt ripped off in Star Trek.
He loves showing that bare ass chest too. What do you mean? Do I have hair in my chest? Yeah, there's a couple hairs in there.
Oh, why do people get so damn personal for it? Son of a bitch.
What do you mean? Well, no, I don't always wear a tie. Sometimes I have my shirt open. Why you want to see my chest?
I don't give a...
Okay, listen. If that's what you really want, it's 1-800-JoJo-MON 1. Okay, it's $39.99 a minute for the first 5 minutes. $109.99 a minute after that. Not $1.09, $109. Yes. Just call it. No, I'll take good care of you. Trust me. At $109 a minute, trust me, I'll take good care of you. I'll even recruit some backup in. You just call in here. I'll
How much that goes to the phone company, though, Joe?
What do you mean it's a real number? Yeah, it is a real number. 1-800-JoJo-MON. Yeah, there you go. Call it up.
Oh, God. They're probably calling it now.
Anyway, we got to get out of here. One last question, and then we're gone. What kind of questions? What are you talking about? Actually, Leah is a co-host, and no, we're still looking for another host. Well, we like to have 5 or 6 hosts on the show because sometimes, like I said, sometimes we're vacationing, sometimes, they're out doing things. Sean's woman might decide she needs him for a thing. The other Sean's got to take care of his harem. So, I mean, shit. Yeah, y'all don't know which Sean's which, though, do y'all? Oh, man. Jay's been in a cooking thing. I think he's going to open him a restaurant or something.
I'm actually working on.
You should just get with Amelia, and y'all should just have a ball.
Oh yeah, we could. I'm working on a cookbook, so that's why I'm doing that. So
Amelia is Michelle DeRoche's co-host. Oh well, look, baby, I'll step it for you right now.
Yeah, also an extremely good cook.
Here we go. Put the music on. Y'all guys may want to close y'all's eyes. I don't want to ruin y'all or nothing.
Oh, I am.
Only if you're in the demographic between 35 and 64-year-old men.
Oh no, unfortunately, I can't help it. These men don't want me.
You just put a crack across Sean's lenses.
These are
oh my
35
God.
to 55.
Hey Jay, I got my Clorox. I got my Clorox bleach to clean the eyes out. Yes.
I can't help it, ladies like me. It's not my fault. It's like a curse. What's that, Christopher? No. What are you talking about? Everybody's married. What do you mean? Who's everybody?
I ain't.
Oh wait, you're talking about the majority of the country? I don't even know. In the old days, I would have agreed with you. Today, I'd have to ask. I'd have to go look it up. Yeah,
I'd say you probably have a lot more what they would call, married. You didn't have an official wedding, but you're married by you've lived together and you bought a house or together, or you bought a car together.
Common law.
Common.
Yeah, we did away with that shit down here. The judge said,
there's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, the circuit court down here said there ain't no such thing as common law. You're either married or you're not.
Well, see, me and this Sean are in a commonwealth. So guess what? We got it up here. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you two are in the commonwealth. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Common law marriage.
I didn't know y'all. We like
common
that.
law applies.
Did it start? Was he sending you steaks or something, Jay? What was going on here? Man, y'all can tell us, man. y'all can. Well, I'm shutting up. Anyway, what's that, Reese?
Which one's the top?
We don't want to know that. Some things we just don't know. We don't need to know.
Inquiring
Reese, you could ask your question. Do what? Crushed up doodle bugs as an aphrodisiac. What are you on, crack?
What the? It's 2
doodle bugs alone, man.
In the morning talking about doodle bugs.
Leave the doodle bugs alone. Doodle bugs ain't done you nothing. Leave the damn doodle. I ain't even heard anybody call him a doodle bug, and I couldn't even tell you when. People, if you don't know what a doodle bug, all I can tell you is look it up. It's a little, looks like a Volkswagen that rolls up into a ball. Yeah, it looks like
we used to call them potato bugs.
Potato bug. We call them potato bugs.
I don't know. Everybody got a different name for them. No,
That's Mid-Atlantic. That's a Mid-Atlantic term. I remember that too.
We're gonna no Europe. Why you get these ideas from? No, Europe's on our side. Yes. Well, let me rephrase that. We're on their side. We don't really. So right now NATO's got a big fleet sailing around in the ocean, pissing off China and Japan. Well, because everybody's been talking about how big China's fleet is now, but they forget that it's not just America's fleet; it's NATO's fleet, and then there's the EU fleet. Yes, it's not. And I'm still not 100% convinced of China's ships yet. Nah, I know China said they're really good, but I want to see them in action. Well, I heard how good the Russian ships are, and the drones are sinking the damn things. Man, come on.
Well, and plus they don't have the trained sailors that we do. I mean, we've had constant 24/7, 365 ongoing naval operations since World War II.
So I think we should make like some drones made that look like dragons, like Chinese dragon. That way when they see them coming, they'll be like, oh, it's like these dragon. Oh shit, we go home. I'm sorry.
The Yellow Emperor has returned.
Oh man, that was so bad on my part. No, you woke people do not write to me. I will not be nice to you. No, really. Again, write to Michelle DeRoche, but she's not going to be nice to your woke ass either. So this is not really a woke station, people. We're not really into woke stuff. I know we got some really nice people in the network. We got some really good new ages and stuff. And even the new ages in this network aren't into woke stuff. No, because you woke people are just a bunch of dumbass Karens. Well, I don't care if you're a guy, you're still a dumbass Karen. you probably run around. Ooh! I can just look.
I can see that email coming to you, Joe, right now.
Look, if you want to be again, write to Michelle DeRoche. If not, I'm just going to send it to her and tell her to write back to you anyways. Because you're not going to like my response.
What are they upset about? What are they upset about? What are they complaining about?
Because they said we just hate all Democrats. We have not. No, so you mistook everything we said tonight. So we have not hated on the Democrat Party except for Chuck Schumer, which we all think is a moron, and Joe Biden. The rest of the party we ain't even said nothing about. It's just. What do you mean we ain't talked about Trump? Like how? Because he's a doofus. No, Trump is a doofus, but he's a better doofus than the current doofus.
Yeah. Earlier you said something about people are going to dance with the devil that they're used to, and that's an old wives' tale. Dance with the devil versus the one you don't. In this case, it doesn't apply to Biden, because it's going to get worse and worse if he stays in control. So it's still the lesser of two evils. One man seems almost incompetent, Biden. The other man, not very many people like him, and he can be an abrasive ass.
He says very mean words, and he has orange hair.
Yeah, he hurts the woke folk. So what? He pissed off a few.
Hey, look, that's a feature. That's not a bug.
Yeah, but who cares? I'd rather have that president and a good economy than a terrible president and a bad economy.
And that's the whole point. The economy.
Yep.
I think y'all can say, I heard a bunch of Dems, this is going to be about abortion. I said, this is not going to be about abortion.
It's not about it.
I said, if that's what you think this election is about, you're not even close to right. I said, this is going to be about competence, which don't seem like Joe Biden has anymore, and the economy. And
I can say, so in the last 3-4 shows we've had on this Friday show, my gas station hasn't changed the price from $3.69. So there's a bit of stability, but they keep saying and warning that it's going to go up.
Well, that's the thing, though. They keep saying inflation's going down, but it never go. I mean, not never, but it hasn't gone down. It hasn't. The rate of increase, right? The prices are still much higher than they were when he took office, right? Mm-hmm. And they're not coming down. They're going up at a slightly slower rate. Which is,
we'll look at it like this. Earlier in the show, I talked about the half-inch conduit for electrical, how it was $1.56 before COVID and Biden, and it's now over $10 after. That price hasn't come down any. Why would you? I mean, It probably still only cost them 75 cents to make that damn thing, but they're selling it to you for $10. Well, they're selling it to the home improvement centers, who then sell it to you for almost $10 before tax. And then why should they bring it down?
Well, they really can't bring it down anyway.
They're making a dime off of it.
Yeah, they're making a little better profit, but the guy who made the plastic, everybody's going up on their prices. I don't know how you get everybody to go back down on their prices. I think Trump can do it. I think because let's look at it like this.
Well, you have an economic slowdown. That's the only way, and then you have inflation, which is even worse. It's like trying to catch
when Trump took office, gas was almost $4 a gallon down here. When he left office, it was right around $1.10, $1.20. Really cheap. I mean, it was easy.
I think we were paying like $2.09 up here.
So it was very cheap. Bread was 99 cents a loaf. Ground meat was anywhere from 99 cents a pound to $2 a pound. All of that has at least doubled. Some places it's even tripled. These are just standard living. A pound of butter was around right around $4. And we're talking real butter when Trump was in. Now it's about 10.
Yeah.
If you're doing margarine, it was about $2.50. Then now it's about $6. Everything's at least doubled, and none of that has changed. Now we get a break because we're in the deep south, so some of the stuff is like right up the street from us. So we catch a little bit of a slack on y'all, at least on tomatoes and most vegetables and meat, beef and pork and chicken. I mean, one of the biggest pork things in the country and one of the biggest chicken companies in the country is right here in Mississippi. So we see it at a much better rate, and we have gas all around us. So even that's at a better rate. But still, right now we're paying. Well, it went down to 288 today. It was at 309 yesterday. Last week it was at 268, but it's got nowhere near what it used to be. It's. And then the other day I'm listening to the Fed. Oh well, inflation, and they spun this every way they could, but actually inflation actually bumped up a little bit, and they didn't want to say that. They said every kind of code word you could think of.
Did you see the employment figures? They every single time they revise it.
Yeah, every
in
time.
terms of like added jobs, right?
They keep always revising
it downward every single time for the
and,
past year.
And when they do, they any results they counted before the new count are ignored.
Right.
So even though there's still those 100,000 people that aren't employed here, we go, these 500,000 people got jobs, but we only have this many unemployed. They ignore the other. So
they're all downward revisions. They're almost exclusively
exactly.
downward revisions.
Well, it's like when Joe Biden says, I broke record with people. No, you didn't break record hiring or people getting jobs. The people who quit working for 3 years went back to work, all within a year. I mean, yeah, of course it went up, dumbass. But why even try to tell people that? Because America's like, you really think we're that stupid? And I hate to say some of y'all are, but the majority of us aren't that stupid. We're kind of like, come on. Biden really does, though, people. I'm sorry to say, Biden thinks all of y'all are stupid. He thinks you're like his little pet puppies or his little weird sex dolls. One or the other. I'm not sure which one. It's I wonder if he has one in his office. Oh, that was just bad on your part, Joe.
I don't know.
No, the woke crowd's going to come after you now, Joe.
I actually, if it was a normal thing, I would worry about it. But he's so weird. He might take it as a compliment. It's scary. He scares me. I mean, I've never had a president in office before that's actually scared me before. This guy scares me, mainly because I don't know who's running my country because it ain't him.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, you know what? Every now and then he probably does get something in there when they give him one of them shots or he has a good day or something. He gets something done because he's president. They can't tell him no. But on them other days when he's walking around, no, somebody else is running our country. And no, Chris, it ain't Obama. I kind of leaned that way in the beginning, but Obama is not this stupid. And remember, Obama had 8 years of making dumb mistakes. So some of them, unless he's deliberately trying to make Joe Biden look bad, which I don't think, he would actually be doing a better job. Yeah, if Obama could do another 8 years, he would actually probably be a better president.
So who's pulling the strings? Magic 12?
But yeah, I don't know who it is. Some people think it's the wife. Some people think it's some of the little youngins on his staff because he's got a lot of Z-Geners on his staff, and there does seem to be some stupid Z-Geners.
They're in control of the social media. You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. So there does sometimes you just have to wonder. What do you mean? You mean if I could pick somebody? If I could have my own pick, it'd be Condoleezza Rice. I'm sorry, buddy, hands down.
But she said she didn't want to have anything to do with it.
No, but they were asking who if I could have my own pick for president, I'd pick Condoleezza in a heartbeat. What do you mean? Because she's a woman? Because she's a black woman? Well, think about it. She's a black woman, and she's unbelievably intelligent. She ran parts of the NFL. She's done all kind of stuff, including in being the person that made Joe Biden. I mean, not Joe Biden. Damn, I'm sorry. Baby Bush look halfway intelligent.
That's a feat.
That is a feat. But there wasn't no funky monkey stuff with her like there was with Cheryl Mills and what was Wiener's wife's name? I forgot her name. Huma Adine with Clinton and all them. There was none of that funky monkey stuff. There's a big rumor that the three of them were lovers. I don't know. Personally, I mean, Huma Adine was a good-looking woman. Cheryl Mills wasn't bad, but Clinton's just ugly. No, we're talking about Hillary. We're not talking about Bill. Yeah, we're talking about Hillary. Yeah, they said Hillary went lesy after Bill, so many affairs. She just got tired of it. Well, he lives with a woman now. See, this tells you something about our media. So the media did break this story about 4 years ago because somebody from Secret Service broke the story we're talking about. He has a regular big boob blonde girl that comes by and sees him every so often. And sometimes they're living together. So it's been news for a long time, but mainstream won't touch it. Not even with a 10-foot pole. Now, Bill's pretty old now. He's kind of getting a little senile himself, but still, no one will touch the story. See, that should never be like that in our country. Every story should be touchable, especially when it becomes, well, I mean, I don't really personally care if he's sleeping with some ugly blonde woman, but they had a name for it. The Secret Service said they had a name for it, and they had some kind of code name for it. They were talking about. I was like, shit, but we got to go, guys. We're already half an hour over. Any moans, groans, bitches, of course, you send to. Let's send them to Jay McNichols this week.
Yeah, you'll get the same response as you would from Joe. I'll just bump it up to Michelle.
Yeah, he'll send them to Michelle. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher, Michelle DeRoche is the station manager and is the boss and tells everybody what they can do and can't do.
Yep.
What do you mean? Does she tell me? Yeah, she tells me all the time what I can and cannot. I don't always listen, but she does tell me. Well, there's some advantage to owning a damn network, people. Let's just be honest about it. No, she is the boss, though. Really and truly. I give her trouble all the time, but she does me a great job. And I know she's very important to what the network does. But she does, and she is the boss. So if you are looking to get on network, because I have been getting some requests lately, that's who you need to get in touch with. You can write me. And if you send me why you want to be on the network or where you come from, or if you have your own show or if you're on another network, send me all that information and I will go over it. And if you look good, I'll probably send it to her to talk to you because talking to me is a waste of time. Now, she's going to tell you where you can go, what you can do, what the rules of the station are and stuff like that. And she's much better at it than I am, yes. Because I'll forget half that shit. Then you'll get in trouble with Michelle down the line. Yes. No, yes, you will. But on that note, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, Sean will be here Sunday, so you can come harass him. The other Sean will be here Sunday, too, so you can harass him. And then, of course, then Sean will be back on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm just confusing the shit out of y'all, ain't I?
Yeah.
So Sean Patrick will be here Sunday, and then Sean Kelly will be here Sunday, and then Sean Kelly will be back on Tuesday. Jay's here with us on Wednesdays sometimes, on Fridays, and double Jeopardy on Fridays sometimes. Because tonight Yeah, so because tonight he's been up with us 5-6 hours tonight because he was with Jeffrey Pritchett on the Church of Mavis just before this show.
Yep.
Yes. That's why you see him.
Good night, everybody.
Taking them pills back there. Anyway, we gotta go. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and United News on the Flip Side. I hope you really enjoyed the show. We had a lot of fun tonight. We always have a lot of fun hanging out with everybody. Again, come see us every Friday. We're right here. Be sure to check out the guys during the week. And actually, UFO on the Cover is back up and running, so y'all can come by and see it as well. Good night. Have a good weekend. Come see me on the Author's Quill tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.